Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there. Sure. Yeah. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here, based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me, absolutely happened to me. For years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Welch's can't make everything make sense. Like why your mom still listens to the radio or what she meant when she sent that emoji. But a zero sugar drink that's still full of fruit flavor, we made that make sense. And strawberry, passion fruit, Concord grape, and more. You gotta sip it to get it. New Welch's Zero Sugar. Let's fruit stuff up.
This week, in Lempster, New Hampshire, a beloved woman goes missing, and the twisted trail of anger and bitterness leads to one very dangerous person who likes to write everything down. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another wild, crazy edition of Small Town Murder. And this is just, wow, what a twisted, weird, strange tale of a... Oh, my God. This is like if you saw a little tiny plant and you pulled it out, and you expect a little tiny root, but instead it's connected to the middle of the earth. And you're like, how did that happen? How did that root come out of that plant? That's what this is. It's insane. We'll get to it. First off, thanks for all that you do for us.
Oh, yeah.
Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com if you want to hang out, if you want to buy some merch, tons of stuff, everything from coffee mugs to shower curtains. We got it all. So get in there and get that. Also, tickets, one live show left. December the 2nd, Dallas, last live show of the year. And then we'll be announcing in December our 2024 tour dates. We can't wait to come see everybody. So get in there in Dallas. A few tickets left. Come see us there. Also, you definitely want Patreon. I'm telling you right now. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get it. That is all the bonus stuff there. Anybody $5 a month or above, you get it all.
It's good stuff.
It's great stuff. Couple hundred back episodes of bonus stuff to binge on, and new episodes every other week. One crime and sports, one small town murder, and how much do they get of that, Jimmy?
Every last drop. And what's up this week?
Every last drop. This week for crime and sports, we're going to talk about roller derby.
Oh.
What the hell is roller derby?
What is
because
that?
we know some of our listeners are roller derby people. We've been sent jerseys from their teams and stuff, and we don't know exactly what goes on here. We know, is it wrestling? Is it a sport? What's happening exactly? Is there a score?
Fascinating names, ladies.
I don't get it. Also, we're talking about the history of it, because at one point they were the most famous athletes in the country because they were on TV. They were like one of the first big TV shows. So we'll talk about all of that. And then for small town murder, it's that time of year again, everybody.
Oh, you bet.
Oh, we're going to get warm for the holidays with Love After Lockup. You think your family sucks? Let's hear some people that are destroying their lives. And it's wonderful. There's already a dead guy, even before the show started, in loving memory of a guy who's already dead, but here's some footage of him. We'll talk about all that and more. Patreon.com/crime and sports. Also, while you're listening to podcasts and things, check out our other two shows, Crime and Sports, our original, the OG show, which is very murdery lately, so check out these episodes. And then, of course, Your Stupid Opinions, our new show, which is goddamn hilarious. So if you just want to hear some comedy and a good palate cleanser, great for the holidays. I'm telling you, you'll need it. It'll feel good. So check all that out. Keep doing that. Next up, disclaimer. This is a comedy show.
It is.
We're comedians. There's going to be jokes, and people are going to die. That's how this works. The thing we do is we try to keep those things separately. This is really, there's nothing funny about, and then he cut her head off. Oh, hilarious. There's nothing funny about that. But there is something funny about, I know where I could hide the head where no one will find it. No, you don't. That's absurd. That's where the jokes come in, and that's how we do it. What we don't do, though, we go out of our way not to do, is we don't make fun of the victims or the victims' families.
Yeah, why is that, James?
Because we're assholes.
But
we're not scumbags. That's how that works. So that sounds good to you. Crazy story ahead. Do you think true crime and comedy should never, ever mix and mingle together? Maybe we're not for you. I don't know. Give it a shot. No complaining later. Let's just say that. And let's all shout. I think it's time. Let's all shout out there. Whoever has not abandoned, let's all shout. Arms to the sky. And let's shout, shut up and give me murder. Let's do this, shall we, everybody?
Okay.
Let's go on a trip, Jimmy. Let's do it.
I'd love it.
Let's do it. We're going to a state you've spent plenty of time in.
Yeah.
We're going to New Hampshire today.
Oh, I love it.
New Hampshire. It's pretty up there, the woods.
It's a good one.
It's nice. We're going to Lempster, New Hampshire.
Oh?
Have you been to Lempster or been through it?
Never even heard of it.
It's a pretty small town, I got to say.
Think?
It's in southwestern New Hampshire. So this is about 50 minutes to Concord, New Hampshire, about 55 minutes to Brattleboro, Vermont, the other direction.
Is it north of Concord?
I think it's south of Concord, actually.
Is it really?
West of, I can't remember exactly where Concord is in relation to this. And then it's an hour and a half to Salem, New Hampshire, which was our last episode, which was Who Tasted the Blood, which was
it's definitely north of Concord. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is in Sullivan County.
Okay.
Area code 603. Quick history of this, because it's a small place. Not a lot has really gone on here, but they have had several names, though, of this town. It was first granted, this town, granted a township by the colonial governor. So this is back in the, British rule days.
Yeah.
Jonathan Belcher in 1735, as they named it this. This is a catchy name. I'm surprised they didn't keep this. Number 9. That's a real catchy one. A lot of character to that. The old number 9 here. Yeah. Old number 9. It was 9th in a line of forts to guard against Indian attacks. So it was.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's what it was called. Number 9 for a while there.
Wow.
Oh, number 9, New Hampshire. Wow.
That's awful.
Sounds picturesque, doesn't it? It was re-granted in 1753 as Duplin, Dupplin, after Scottish Lord Thomas Hay. He is the Viscount Duplin, so they named it after him.
Okay, never heard of it.
Me neither. The town was re-granted one final time again in 1767 as Lempster, after Sir Thomas Fermor, who was the second Baron Leominster, or Lempster, as they called it. That was like the nickname for it, so they gave him that.
Yeah, because that's a long fucking title.
Call the town Second Baron Leominster.
Or
number 9.
Lempster.
Lempster. At least it's better than number 2. No one wants to be from number 2. That's not good. Jesus. It's almost like a 13th floor in a hotel. They should have skipped it. They got number 1 and number 3.
I bet they did.
Yeah, that's not going. No one's going to be
Number 3 knows the deal.
Yeah, all right. It's fine. Yeah, I'm on the 14th floor. I get it. So Lempster was incorporated in 1772. So this is an old town. That's pre-revolution. So
yeah.
Old school.
And, a lot of that shit back in New England, those numbers, all right, I realize we don't have much history. 1700s isn't that long ago.
No.
But 1700 is a long fucking time
People
ago.
in England are laughing right now going, come on. But in America, that's a long time here.
Yeah.
You go to Arizona
shit.
and you're like, wow, that's from the 1970s, kids. Look at that. Look at that Art Deco.
The state was
man.
incorporated in 1912, I think. It's like it's still got that new car smell to it.
Everything does. Nothing's old there. Whereas my house is older than anything in Arizona. You know what I mean? Literally.
Fascinating shit.
It's interesting. So here's a review of the town. There's only one review. Right. It's a small town.
Oh?
But it's one of those reviews where it's just so perplexing. I don't know if I want to hear anybody else's opinion on it. 4 stars. Okay. Great town with a small but friendly community. That's good. Oh. The only thing that could improve would be the middle school.
What's happening there? Huh?
Really specific. Not the elementary school.
Not the high school.
Not the high school. The middle school. Mad fucked up. I'm telling the whole town's great.
The one with those 2 grades.
Yeah, you go to the middle school, you open the doors, and Welcome to the Jungle's playing in the hallway. It's just bedlam in there. What's happening there? Wow. Why only the Mets? Really calling it out. Everything's great except for you, Principal Harris. I'm sorry.
Get it together. Yeah.
Get it together. People in this town, 817. So.
Holy shit.
Yeah. It's
the middle school is literally 12 people.
That's what I'm saying.
It's gotta be.
What could you improve? Make the room bigger? Like. The one room.
Make the divider more soundproof between 7th grade and 8th grade classes? Because it's got to be one room with a divider in the middle, right?
How could it not be? There can't be that many kids in those 2 grades. I'm surprised they have a middle school. I'm surprised it's not just a K through 12.
K through 8, and then, or at minimum, K through 8.
Like Cold Spring is a small town here that's kind of near me here, and they're like this weird small town that's kind of wedged in between a bunch of other places, but they had a K through 12 school that like all the kids in Cold Spring went to.
I don't like that at all.
It was I don't
want kindergartners seeing kids smoking cigarettes.
Smoke and trying to finger each other. I don't want any of that. That's not good.
I don't need anything of the sort.
We should break them down by 3-year periods, as a matter of fact.
Probably. Yeah.
And even that's risky. I don't know if I want 12th graders hanging out with 10th graders all the time. So,
hey, high school alone is fucking weird that we do that.
Yeah.
Of a 14-year-old and an 18-year-old? No.
Yeah, weird. Kids smoking, driving, having jobs, doing all this shit, and then a 14-year-old child.
Pokemon Go?
Yeah, it's the weirdest environment.
Bizarre.
High school. So 817 people, not a lot. A few more females than males, but it's pretty much kind of on average. Median age is a little bit older here, as is much of New Hampshire.
Yeah.
If you picture like, how they do all the memes of like, ask AI to recreate this. Right. If you ask AI to recreate New Hampshire residents, it would be gray-haired, a little bit older folks sitting on a porch.
Yeah.
Eating pepperidge
really
farm.
enjoying the shit out of themselves.
Yeah, saying Pepperidge Farm remembers. That's, one of those deals.
Well, they go down to a Pats game every now and again.
Every now and then when they're not too. It's a yearly thing.
The Celts, maybe the Red Sox. We're not sure.
Well,
we're going to go down one at a time.
There's a bus that comes to. It's a big one that comes through all the little towns, and we go once a year. It's very good.
Mocky Mock drives it.
Mocky Mock, he loves it. Mocky Mock, I said, come on, take your shirt off, pal. Let's go. What are we doing over here? Let's see those white tighties, buddy. Come on. So,
jerk.
It's about a few less married people than normal, actually. Less also people that are single with children here as well.
Oh.
Race in this town, 96.7% white. New Hampshire.
Okay.
0.0% black, 2.3% Asian, and that's it. And 0.9% two or more races, so I assume part white and part Asian. Those people are, because nobody else is here.
Yeah. But they all love Dunkin' Donuts. That's one thing they do love.
Not a Hispanic person in the town. No, it's interesting. Religion here, 23.3% are religious, which is less than half of that. It's usually 50-50. And no surprise, the leader here is 14.2%. Catholic, as Catholics are, as we know, the Baptists of the North. They're there. Otherwise, it's not a lot of anything, really. Not a lot of religion up there. It's too pretty. I don't know. 0.0% Jewish, also 0.0%. I mean, it's like 0.2% Lutheran, 0.6% this or that. It's, last election in Sullivan County, 50.7% of the people voted Democratic, 47.1% Republican, 2.2% Independent. Unemployment rate here is 2.7%.
Wow,
which is very low.
That's dangerous.
That's it's actually bad, because that means that you can't fill jobs and there's things missing. So
not enough people.
Not enough people. Median household income here is high, though. It's $76,250 a year.
You're going to need it.
So, well, the not that bad, actually. The cost of living, 100 is regular average. Here it's 89.
Is what?
It's the middle of the woods here, dude. This is the middle of nowhere.
Let's not tell any more people about this.
They're going to find it.
That's amazing.
Well, once they hear this story, they might not.
Okay.
We'll see.
We'll scare them away.
Housing, though, median home cost $275,300 here.
Not bad.
So that's not terrible compared to a lot of the Northeast. And maybe we've convinced you, damn it, to take it a little slower and figure out that Pepperidge Farm does indeed remember. We have for you the Lempster, New Hampshire Real Estate Report. The average two-bedroom rental here is exactly pretty much the national average, $1,280, which is a little bit high. And I don't know how much there is to rent, really, in a town of 800 people. Here is, now there's a lot of these hard-to-find houses here, because it's not a lot of houses.
Nobody's leaving.
There's only 2 houses for sale. 2 houses and 3 lots. Yeah, let's say you just want some land. You're going to start fresh.
Give me some land.
This is 15 acres of land, and it's described as a, quote, picturesque field.
Okay. All right.
Don't miss the chance to own a slice of paradise when you can build the life you've always dreamed of. And there's a pond there as well. It's a nice place. $150,000 for 15 acres.
That is a sweet deal, but that real estate agent is selling their ass off with
picturesque field. There's nothing here. How can we describe it? Picturesque? I guess so, yeah. Like a nature picture?
I'm going to say flat shit nicely.
Yeah. How do we say there's not a goddamn thing here that's worth anything? Okay. Then there's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,800 square foot house. It's on a 5-acre lot.
Fuck yeah.
It's very weird looking. It looks like a place where you would... It's like a factory where you'd say, this is where I make meth / dismember my enemies. It looks like a factory in the middle of the woods. It's the weirdest looking house ever. One side looks like it's falling apart. It looks like a barn on the other side. There's like metal siding on it.
It's a lot of work, is that what you're saying?
Inside, it's a mess too. Like there's 2 fridges just next to each other in the kitchen. I've never seen that before. 2 fridges.
Who's got his and hers refrigerator?
Side by full size too. They're not like mini fridges. It's very weird, man. There's there's a pool table and a microphone and amp set up. I guess karaoke they get into, or a stand-up night at the pool table. I don't know what's going on. The windows look like they're barely in the house, like they're going to fall out at the next storm. Yeah. Doesn't look great here. $237,900 though.
That feels like robbery.
Feels high. Next one, 3-bedroom, 3-bath, T-bowl for each and every bee-hole.
Hell yeah, pinnacle.
2,114 square feet on 71 acres.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's an old farmhouse, okay, which is kind of cool. There's a giant pit on the property. Just a huge fucking pit of despair. I don't know if you can fight a kraken down there. Do whatever you got to do in this pit, but I don't know what goes on there. But the listing says that the Lempster Goshen gravel pit estimated 1.5 million yards of material to include concrete, sand, septic sand, gravel, stone, and topsoil. So comes you're buying a rock pit.
You're buying a quarry?
You're buying a quarry. Enjoy, everybody. There is your real estate report.
How much is that thing?
Oh, I'm sorry. That is $1,190,000.
But you could probably get that money back if you quarry enough.
I guess if you want to, burrow toward the center of the earth, you can probably get it. I'm not sure how much digging you want to do.
But you got to pay your union dues to be a part of the quarry union.
This whole thing is too complicated. Never mind. Never mind, everybody. I gave up.
Jesus Christ.
It's a weird.
Bizarre. That's the most bizarre Zillow listing I've ever heard.
You normally they don't tell you what kind of septic sand and gravel stone come with the property. That's not normally included in the Zillow. I look at a lot of Zillows, trust me, and that is not usually in there.
That's hysterical.
So, if you're looking for something unique, I found it for you. It's the place for you, everybody. And it's 71 acres. That's a lot.
Sure is.
That's a big, you have a lot of room for your pits. That's good.
You could parcel some of that down and make more money.
I guess so.
I don't know.
If anybody wants to take it.
I would never want to give away any acreage if you got 71. No. Hang on to all of them.
That's a nice buffer there.
Fuck yeah.
Things to do in this town.
Tell me more.
Sullivan County Cider Day. Yeah, buddy.
Bet.
Let's get some cider. They're big into apples here.
Yeah, apple picking is a big deal up there.
Anywhere like where I am, and it goes just where I am north in New York, too, is the same thing. It is apple country. Like the last 2 months, it's been apple extravaganza time. It's been everywhere as apple cider donuts and apple cider this and apple pies and apple things. And the grocery store, it has 100 different kinds of apples, and they're fresh, and it's amazing.
And hard apple cider, too.
And cider.
Oh, boy.
So with this cider day, you get cidery tours. Cidery. Cider-adjacent tours, apparently.
Like wineries, cidery.
Yeah, cidery tour. A guided hike, a mural unveiling. Oh, boy, that's worth the price of admission.
Show me the artwork.
They're going to unveil the mural. Free cider, and a beanbag toss.
Oh, I guess
that's what when I think.
Cornhole?
Yeah, cornhole. In the East Coast, they don't really call it cornhole. It's beanbags.
They call it bags?
Yeah.
throwing the beanbags?
So, cornholing is a different activity.
It sure is.
Which it definitely is. And also...
it's only in prison.
Yeah. And also music as well. And they such good music that they do not tell you who's going to be there.
Secret.
But there are some people we'll talk about. First of all, they said they're going to unveil the new cidery building mural. Local art students helped to create ideas for the mural, and an artist created a design and all this type of shit. So it was painted by 25 community volunteers.
It took 25 people to paint this thing.
25. That's a big mural. So it's like a quilt, basically, like a wall quilt. There's also a fife. What is that? The fucking
fife dog? What is it?
The instrument. Is it a fife or a fief? I don't know what the
pfeffer in it. Is it pfeff?
F-I-F-E?
Is that Dr. Seuss? I don't know.
I don't know either. One of those and drum performance.
Okay, pfeffers and drummers.
Andrew Adams on snare drum and Kim Bronsroth on fife, fifth, whatever. Will share their talents with us. Gee, great. Both are professional musicians from the Keene area. Kim is pictured here in her role as one of the Middlesex Chambers players. Oh, boy. Okay. Then, this is what I would expect from a, New England cider festival. I would expect a traditional Okinawan karate demonstration. That goes with that, right? That sounds... Bring out
Cobra
Mr.
Kai
Miyagi.
was big on Netflix. It's given rise to the Okinawan art of waxing cars.
I assume this has been going on since Karate Kid 2, probably. The White Crane Martial Arts of Keene will be presented.
White Crane?
That's what I'm saying. Karate Kid 2. They all started at Karate Kid 2.
Jesus Christ.
They hand out those little back and forth little drum things when you come in. You have to see Karate Kid 2 or you have no idea what we're talking about.
It's the hand-washing drum. Teaches
one of those.
you how to wash your hands.
Yep, that's the one. The traditional Okinawan karate, they offer the finest martial arts training and education in the Keene, New Hampshire area, which I'm sure there's tons of martial arts instruction in Keene, New Hampshire.
Keene's like a little college town.
Jesus Christ. Specializing in Okinawan karate, Japanese jiu-jitsu, kobudo, and aikibudo.
They've got several disciplines of this shit?
Disciplines.
Jesus Christ.
And they're going to unveil a mural, Jimmy. I know I'm going to have to hold you down to keep you from getting on a plane for this.
I got questions. This is unbelievable.
Wow. I know. This almost sounds like you almost want to go here, just to go, what's happening in this weird amalgamation of stuff?
They're punking us. It's a joke. There's no way any of this shit's there.
It can't be real, right? And the Everything Apples free raffle. Okay, there's a free raffle. I don't know what you get there. Free pressed apple cider. Okay. Crime rate in this town. Let's see here what we're interested in. Property crime is about 1/3 under the national average.
Okay.
Low, which I don't know how there could be high with 800 people.
How is there any at all?
And violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and, of course, assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, is about 2/3 under the national average.
It should be zero.
It should be zero. You know exactly who did it. It's that guy, because we all know each other.
No reason for it.
That said, let's talk about a murder, shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay. Let's see here. By the way, good stuff from this, good information about this murder came from a book called Notes on a Killing by Kevin Flynn and Rebecca Lavoie as well. So check that out if you like. They do a good job on true crime books. So 2005 here. Let's start there. All right. Let's start in 2005 and twist our way through this. All right. Let's start out with a woman named Joanne DeFore. Okay, Joanne DeFore. She is staring out of her window on a February morning in New Hampshire.
So cold.
It's very cold. It's 9:35 a.m. Her ride isn't here, and she's doing the looking out the window, looking at the time. She's got an appointment.
That's the worst.
That's the worst.
Looking at the clock. Did I read that wrong?
And she's got a dental appointment, too, so she probably waited a month for it now, and she's like, I missed this appointment, God damn it. So she's trying to, waiting for her friend. This is 2005. This is happening, February 2005. And she's waiting for one of her very good friends. Penn Meyer is her name. Her name's Edith, but she goes by Penn as her nickname. We'll tell you where that came from in a few here. So Penn, how everybody calls her, she was her regular ride to these type of occasions. Ride to the store, supermarket, doctor's appointments, and also her ride to one place they both go every week faithfully, and that is Alcoholics Anonymous meetings as well.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a big, everything kind of swells from this AA thing here. That's where all these people meet in this story. Joanne, she's divorced. She's trying to do her thing. She's on her own for the first time, and Penn has been helping her because Penn's a real strong lady, and she's real forceful of character and that sort of thing. So, she's Joanne's
going after. She's tackling divorce and a restart sober,
and trying to do it sober too. Trying to do everything. But a lot of these people have been sober for a long time, but they still go to AA meetings. So it's not like they're newly sober. A lot of these people, but they became really good friends and would hang out outside of meetings and that sort of deal. So Joanne, she calls Penn's home to say, "Hey, where are you?" Leaves a message on her answering machine. 2005, so probably a voicemail. But a home voicemail answering machine
digital
deal.
One. No
Digital answering machine is what it was back then. Still a box, but
with a weird robot voice telling you how many people you missed calls from.
Exactly, and not having to worry about tapes and that dumb shit from the 80s. So she calls. She leaves a message for her. She still she's looking out the window. She's not seeing Penn show up. She calls Penn again. Obviously, she's not home. She had called, too, because Penn had called her the night before to make sure of the time. So it wasn't like she forgot. Like, we made this deal a week ago. She was going to come pick me up, and now she forgot.
6 hours ago.
Yeah, she was just there, and she said that, Penn would never forget shit. She was the most reliable person she knew. So she thought, oh, no, it's February in the morning. There's black ice out this morning, so I hope she didn't get in a car accident. I hope she didn't skid off the road or anything like that. So she needs to go to the dentist, though, so she starts calling other people. Yeah. Just calling different people from the AA program, from the phone tree or whatever to find out. And not for ask for rides, but to see if they had heard from Penn. And none of them had heard from Penn. So she's about an hour late now. It's coming up to.
Yeah.
And everybody she's talked to is like, yeah, that's not like her at all. I mean, that's real weird. Her reputation is for reliability and that sort of shit. She doesn't screw people over. If she says tells someone she's going to be there,
she's very reliable. There. And we know that because somebody asked her for a ride. You don't ask your friend that's unreliable.
Your flaky friend.
You never do that.
Especially not for a dental appointment. or somewhere.
No. Yeah.
Maybe
somewhere professional that you need to be.
I need to go to the store sometime Thursday. That would be fine, but not. I have to be at this
when you can.
specific place at 9:40 on Tuesday. That's not the person you go to. But
and I have to be there 20 minutes early because if I'm not, then the dentist is going with the next person,
and I'm fucked. Yeah, you never know. So she calls a guy from AA, one of the people she's talking to, and he offered to take her to the appointment. So she said, all right, I guess if I can't get a hold of Penn, thank you. So she goes to the appointment. She comes home in the early afternoon, and no message from Penn.
What the
Doesn't
fuck?
get any messages from her. So she's like, what the hell is going on with this? Where is she? What's happening? Yeah. So there's another thing that happens here. A little background here. Let's talk about another woman here. Sandra Merritt, RRT, Merritt. Like Jeff, Jeff Jarrett, RRT, some 90s wrestling there. So she's 44 years old in 2005 here, or late 2004 going into 2005. She's described by, in the book here, as a, quote, pear-shaped mousy woman with unkempt dark hair covering her face and eyeglasses.
Okay.
People would always say she kept her bangs to the point of length where it looked like she was trying to hide behind them. Like she was trying to always look like she was trying to hide, basically.
Yeah,
kind of
a girl from what is that? Scooby-Doo.
Yes.
Why would you know? Why would I ask you that?
How would I know what you're thinking of?
The girl from that thing. What is it?
What is it? What's that thing?
Tell the people.
Yeah, I was thinking like some kind of '90s emo shit. I'm like, who is?
Or that? Yeah, or some fucking
one of those.
Black nail polish band, whatever.
Yeah. Just there was a lot of chicks like that in the '90s.
Yeah.
So she lives in Newport, Sandy does, which is in western New Hampshire, which is a nice place.
Yeah, very nice.
It's a bunch of rural villages there, and Newport's kind of has the most stuff of any of the places around here. Now, Sandy's family's got some cash. They have a bunch of farmland at the end of a dead-end street. Sandy lives in an apartment that's added on to the main farmhouse where her brother lives and owns.
Hell yeah.
So, the addition... They built it for her grandparents, but then her grandparents died. So she lives there, and it's just her in her apartment anyway. On the property, her brother lives there too. But in the apartment, it's her and her dog, Moisha. And she's got the dog goes everywhere with her.
Really?
Yeah, dog goes everywhere with her.
Do we know what kind?
It's a
little dog?
A big fluffy dog, she said.
Really?
Yeah. She'd she loves animals, and she would do dog walking and pet sitting as her kind of her gig here on the side. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. But why don't you focus also, you look at green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well.
Right.
And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
She would, pass around business cards, and everybody would, they'd see her all the time. She'd have other people's dogs. She's the town dog lady, basically. So in the last year, though, she had been in a car crash, and I believe that probably had to do with her being drunk, I would assume, because she started going to AA after that.
Probably.
So, yeah, you don't go to AA if you crash sober, usually. 9 in the morning on the way to work, you crashed. You don't go, fuck, I need to change my life.
I need some steps.
Yeah, you go, this is a pain in the ass that I'm going to get to work late now. You don't say, my life is a disaster and I need to change myself and reconstitute what I'm doing. So she said she tried to quit drinking before, but never could quite get over the hump. Yeah. So this time she said, though, she was fully committed to this, and she was going to stay sober, and she had some support from the AA people, and especially Penn, who was a good friend of hers and was helping her there. But she also had started a romantic relationship while she was trying to, within her first year of AA, which is not, they tell you not to do that.
No, because you're going to go have drinks.
Well, also, they just say that I'm not saying, I don't know how this works scientifically, but they say generally that if you're kicking one addiction, you don't want to add in another. Then you just replace that person and sex. You replace the alcohol with that because you need to be free of vice, basically, for a year is what they say in the program. And then also try to restart doing stuff like that.
Sober sex with a stranger? Ugh.
With someone you know? Ugh, boring. Sober sex with a person I've met and talked to? Ew. That gets,
But sober sex with a stranger on a first date, that's no good.
Well, yeah, that's not going to work.
That's the worst.
That's not going to work. But
You're
they
don't everything you hate about them.
Yeah, no shit. I guess getting too entrenched with other people and entwined with somebody new while you're trying to restart how you do everything in your life, because I would assume if you're a big drinker and an alcoholic and you have to stop drinking, you have to just change everything you do.
Yeah.
All your patterns lead to, at the end of the day, you're drinking, so you'd have to do a lot of different shit here. So February 23rd, 2005, Sandra's trying to get the dogs together. It's 7:30 a.m. This is the same day, by the way, that Joanne is waiting for Penn to come pick her up.
She's looking out the window while this is happening.
She's looking out the window 2 hours later. This is about 2 hours before she's looking out the window here. So, she is doing this. She's trying to get the dogs together. It's about 7:30 a.m. and the dogs it's called the Animal Inn. She's got where she's working and doing all this dog shit. She's feeding a bunch of dogs, and I mean, you can imagine the chaos when you come into a kennel in the morning and the dogs are like, people are here, holy shit. Because when I come
there
down,
you are. One dog saying "there you are" is enough. 3, that's a lot,
dude. I'm overwhelmed in the morning. When I get up, it's like, holy gee! I come down the stairs. Oscar's fucking leaping into the air. Benny's getting
320 pounds of excitement.
And they're and I got to spend like 10 minutes petting them and getting them all psyched. Then as soon as I sit down on the couch, Oscar hops on my lap and has to sit there, and I'm like, God damn it! So I got to spend like 10 minutes petting him. There's like a half-hour routine just to placate the dogs in the morning. So that's what's going on here. She's doing that, and she loves it. She loves the dogs and all that kind of shit. So she gets a phone call.
Yeah.
And it says, quote, Sandy, this is Penn. Okay. So there's Penn on the phone.
It's 7 a.m.
So we know she's there at 7:30, and, she's happy. And, she's been one of her biggest supporters. They've been good friends. And Sandy had recently broken up with her boyfriend, and that she had started seeing in the program, had broken up with him, and Penn's been helping her and being a, kind of a sounding post and sounding board and a leaning post on. And all that kind of shit, just doing that.
Post.
And also helping her with keeping sober while this is all going on.
Very
because
nice. Yeah.
That's the other thing that they don't want to happen, I think, is if you start getting in a relationship, then you have a breakup.
Yep. Now you realize.
What are you going to do? You're going to go, I think I drink this away. You know what I mean? Right. So you want to have a good footing under you before that happens. So Sandy she thought it was odd that Penn would call at 7:30 because she knows this is when she's at her busiest. Okay. It'd be like somebody calling us on times that they know we record. You know what I mean? Like, why are you calling me? You know I record this day in the afternoon. Why are you calling? Same type of thing. So she said that she was trying to kind of get Penn off the phone because she didn't want to talk to her at that point. She wanted to get the dogs fed. They're jumping all around. She's got 40-pound bags of dog food she's trying to open and pour. But Penn says this. She says, quote, Sandy, I want you to reconsider your relationship with him. Meaning her ex-boyfriend that she had broken up with and had recently got a restraining order against that has some serious history to it.
I need you to call him and also the cops and kill that thing and then kiss him.
And Penn was one of the people who was telling her she should get a restraining order to begin with. So this is a strange
weird call.
Strange call. So Sandy was like, what? She's like, no. You told me he's married. He's not leaving his wife because Penn was the one that told her that. So she's like, you told me this. What are you talking about? This guy lied to me, treated me like shit. He, manipulated me. Then he was like, stalking me afterwards, as we'll get into here.
Jesus.
So why are you saying this? You know what I mean? She doesn't understand it. This is kind of a thing. Sandy has a history of just bad relationships. This has happened a lot. And a lot of times alcohol probably played a big part in that too.
It lends to that. Yeah.
Well, if you choose people when you're drinking and then you are with them when you're drinking, it's, you're not exactly...
When this relationship's based on alcohol and oftentimes sex at the same time, not necessarily the best two foundations.
Absolutely. She said out of all of her bad relationships, her last one was the worst, as a matter of fact. So why the hell is Penn telling her to get back together with this guy? That's crazy. Penn said, quote, I could see how it could have been a mistake, is what Penn says. So Sandy tried to correct her. She started to talk, and Penn said, I want you to go to the courthouse and remove the restraining order. Okay. She didn't say, how's it going this morning? Beautiful day.
Good morning.
I got the...
It's Penn.
None of this. Good morning. It's Penn. Not even good morning. Sandy, it's Penn. Go to the courthouse. Remove the restraining order. What are you talking about? It's 7:30 a.m. What? Yeah. This is crazy. So Sandy didn't know what was going on. And she said then, Penn says to Sandy, quote, he's facing a $2,000 fine. I never meant for it to go this far. Call him at Jim's house and tell him you'll testify for him in court and tell the judge how it was a mistake. So Sandy said, Penn, are you sure? Is this what's going on? She said, what do you mean that you never meant it to go this far? What are you talking about? Like, what's happening? So Penn then said, I'll leave a letter for the court to explain how I pushed you because I was jealous of you and him.
Oh.
Okay, that's what then Sandy will, she'll say, yes, that's true. She'll corroborate that, and then they'll drop the restraining order. And, it was poor guy had a restraining order against him for no reason.
$2,000 in penalties for that?
Because he violated it. He violated it. We'll talk about it. Yeah, there's plenty of occasions where he violated it.
Oh, boy.
It's bad stuff. So then she says this, Penn does, quote, Sandy, I'm so sorry for my part in all this. I never planned on this. I know he truly loves you, and I did my best to remove him from your life. I know he loves you, and that is his only crime.
Oh,
that's what she said. Which is like, what the fuck? Wow, this is 7:30 a.m. Did you wake up just hot this morning for...
Yeah, what kind of dreams you having, Penn?
Wow. So then Penn said she's going to send her a letter. Yeah. I'm going to send you a letter it's going to outline all the ways that I manipulated you into doing this.
Okay, send it.
Can't explain it over the phone. You know how it is. I'm going to send you an outline.
Town of 800 people. It's far too big across town to get this letter to you.
Yeah, can't do it. So she then said, quote, I'm sorry I used you to make him hurt, Penn says to her.
What's going on?
Then she says, it wasn't personal. I just wanted someone to love me that way. Please, Sandy, I knew from the start that you two should be together. Let's forget what happened. Okay. That's what she says. Now, Sandy's like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is crazy.
This is wild.
they spent the last few months dealing with going to court and all these restraining orders and him breaking it, and people like her staying at other people's house to hide from him, and people even breaking their 12-step anonymity to testify on her behalf in court, shit like that. Like, they don't do that very often. All of this, and he kept coming, so much so that he got fined $2,000. Wow. He wouldn't fucking stop, and I mean, it was a straight stalk. That's all it was. He's stalking her, and now she's like, my bad, all my bad. I manipulated the whole thing.
I could have been better.
Send a letter. Yeah. So she's like, while Sandy's trying to get all this together in her head, like, why are you telling me this? And this is like one of the people she trusts more than anybody is Penn. So she's like, there's got to be something to this. Then Penn says by the way, another thing I have to tell you, I'm leaving and I'm going to Mexico and South America. So I'll see you later.
I'm going to go on vacation, but this was pressing. This phone call needed to be had.
And Sandy said, what? You're going where? And
Gotta go, Machu Picchu.
Penn said, I never told you of the affair I had with that pilot, did I?
What?
Now there's an affair with a pilot, and they're flying down to South America, and she's going to fucking Carnival. What the hell's happening now? This is unlike you.
Wow.
So, you're supposed to pick a lady up for a dental appointment. Instead, you're going to Carnival, and you want me to take a restraining order off my boyfriend because you manipulated the whole thing. Who am I talking to?
Now you get it. Cabo. Gotta go.
Gotta go. Peace. So Sandy said, what pilot? What are you talking about? Because she has a boyfriend named Jonathan Purick who's not a pilot. So she's like, I know your boyfriend, and he's not a pilot.
And you didn't have an affair with a pilot.
You would have probably told me about that. That's a pretty exciting thing, probably. You would have said, I fucked this pilot I've been banging. It's awesome. He takes me all over the world.
Free trips to Rio.
It's amazing. So Penn said, quote, he wants me to travel the world with him. I called him after my divorce, but I never thought he would come to rescue me. She said that even at this point, she said, while I'm gone, I'm going to let your ex-boyfriend, who I want you to get the restraining order dropped against, I'm going to let him house sit in my house while I'm gone. That's how much I trust him.
You guys are that close now.
Yeah, you can, totally my bad. Talk about misjudging somebody. This is
interesting.
Over the top. She said, if the two of you move in together.
Yeah.
She has a hardcore restraining order against him, and now they're getting to the point, not even should you drop it, once you move in together.
Yeah, get a place together.
She said if the two of you move in together, as you should, obviously, you can rent the house out and move my garden to your place.
I'll
be in South America. Yeah, I'll be in South America. So
enjoy my crock pot.
Sandy's like, I got to feed the dogs. And this started with, what is happening today?
Yeah.
I don't get it. This is very weird. She's like, why do you want me to do? I'm not moving in with him. You're going to give up your garden. That's your garden.
Yeah.
Her garden is her whole thing. She's like, you're giving up your garden? What the fuck are you talking about? You love your house. It's perfect for you. You love it. Why are you talking about all this? And her response is, Penn's response is, quote, Sandy, you're truly a friend. I only want what's best for you. She says then, know this, go after him the way I had you stay away from him. Think of aloneness like a drink, like you should avoid it.
Yeah.
Think of aloneness like a drink. That's how much you should run to him. It's like running to AA away from drinking.
When you feel like you need to be alone, call your sponsor.
Yep. Call your sponsor and then fuck him.
And make him your sponsor.
She said, and stick to him like glue. I know you can take care of yourself, but let him be your Prince Charming and take care of you. This is...
What?
Penn is an extremely independent person who would never say this to anybody about any relationship, usually. Yeah. So she's like, what? Prince Charming? What the fuck are you talking about? So she said, this is crazy. She said, quote, Penn, this is a bit much. Why don't we have lunch and talk about it? Let me call you sometime between noon and 1. Okay, so then Penn doesn't answer that and just says, keep him happy, keep him out of jail. Okay. Then
let's have lunch. Keep him happy, keep him out of jail.
Keep him out of jail. Then Penn said, and don't tell my boyfriend, Jonathan, that this happened. Don't talk to Jonathan at all, and don't tell him that I called you. Then she says that she is giving her sheepdog, Fluff. This is Penn's sheepdog, who she takes everywhere with her. And I'm talking about everywhere there is. If she leaves the house, it's, come on, Fluff, and he gets they drive away. Everywhere.
Fucking sheepdog?
A sheepdog. Apparently
it's a lot of dog.
Insanely well-behaved sheepdog that, like,
I believe it. Yeah, that's a lot of dog.
The dog's always right next to him. She said, I'm giving the sheepdog, by the way, to him as well. So he's staying at my house with my dog. You should move in together, rent my house out, take my garden, do whatever you got to do. But yeah, you can totally rent my house out to people and to keep the money. I don't need it. And
but take the garden home. Have you been to Puerto Vallarta? This is how great it is.
Have you had pilot penis? It's amazing.
Pilot penis.
We'll solve it all.
Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah. Pilot penis in Puerto Vallarta, everybody. The 3 Ps. So Sandy was like, what this is crazy. Then she heard her say something, and we'll find out exactly what it is later, but she heard Penn say something about a chainsaw accident. Okay. And like, because the dogs are going crazy, so she's starting to not be able to hear, and she's something about a chainsaw accident. She's like, what are you talking about? And then the call was over.
Okay.
So she is completely perplexed, Sandy. She's feeding the dogs, going, what the hell happened? And she's like, oh, I got to call her back later. So she calls her up between noon and 1, like she said. Can't get a hold of her, and never can get a hold of her again.
Wow.
Yeah. Where? Puerto Vallarta? Where is she?
What a call. Yeah, I mean, you could search all over Mexico and South America.
Yeah.
Chile's a giant place.
Oh,
Brazil's
it's
even
long
bigger.
as shit. It's long as shit. You just go up and down, back and forth. Yeah. It's huge down
You'll
there.
find miners before you find her.
Yeah, you will. They'll be in the ground begging for help. So let's find out about Edith Penn Meyer and find out what her deal is here. Now, Edith is born into she's got a big family. I think that she has 10 brothers and sisters, I believe.
Jesus.
That's a lot. But it's not 10 brothers and sisters like a crime and sports story where they're, No, mom works 3 jobs and the kids are like roaming the streets and none of that shit. They're wealthy. They have money. She has a trust
they're
fund.
doing fine. Yeah.
Yeah, this is 11 pieces of joy is what we've brought in. Because we can afford to have people watch them, and when we go to Kennebunkport or whatever the fuck they do,
bundles of future. That's what these are.
Yeah, absolutely. They're wealthy and in Boston as well when she's born.
Oh, Jesus.
She's born on the 4th of July as well.
Is that right?
4th of July, 1949 in Boston.
Of course.
Yep. Her mother's name is also Edith. They named her Edith after her mother.
She got an Edith Jr.?
An Edith Jr. She's a junior.
Wow.
But the mother said, well, this is annoying having 2 Ediths in the house because there's no short for Edith. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's two syllables already.
Even if there's multiple Jameses, one could be James, one could be Jimmie, one could be Jim. You can fucking do it like that.
Edie, I suppose.
Sort of. Instead, they say no. She started calling her Penny after a long time, short for Independence Day because that's when she was born. Penny.
Okay. It's kind of short for it.
It's a stretch. That's a stretch. You said, what's your name, Penny? Was that short for Independence Day? Nobody, I don't think anybody. I wonder in her whole life how many people asked that question. What's that short for? What the hell, man? So,
not a single person.
Not a single person ever connected.
Her mom sat in a chair and overthought the shit out of that.
What should I call her? Indy? No, I can't call her Indy. That's kind of weird. Okay, so that's Indianapolis. That's not going to work. Pendy? Pendy's not a good.
Pendy's hideous. Jesus. She'll never get married.
Pendants? That sounds like Constance or something. That's not a great name. Pendants. I don't like that. Penny. Yeah, that's what that sounds like.
That's the only thing that you can do with Independence that's adorable enough for a child.
It's so,
Everything else sucks.
So her mom is very creative and
yeah. Oh, boy. She has a lot of time on her hands, that's for sure.
Nobody can bend over backwards like her mom to figure this out. I'll tell you what. Her mom really twisted herself.
She got 10 kids. 11 of them, really.
Twisted herself in pretzels over this. Penn.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's shortened to Penn after a while. Penny, Penn.
That woman's name is Edith, and they did
Penn.
this to her. That's how we got Penn.
That's how everyone
Jesus
calls her Penn.
Christ.
Just short for Penny, which isn't her name either. So
No, it has nothing to do with this poor girl.
Nope. So the Myers, though, this family, they have a good amount of money. They are, her father was a wealthy industrialist, as it's known.
I don't know what the fuck.
Exactly. He's so wealthy that it's not even from what he has so many businesses. He's just an industrialist. It's not even, he has a concrete smoothing business where he made millions, or, he has a whatever business.
Yeah.
No. He has a bunch of restaurants. Nope. Industrialist.
He's an industrialist. He
Wow.
does some shit.
The family has multiple homes. They
Jesus.
take, summers and weekends in the summer in Rhode Island and all that sort of thing at their home on the beach there. And
their places have names, don't they?
Yes, probably. I don't know what they are, but they probably do.
Yeah.
Now, Penn, though, that sounds idyllic. You think about it, it sounds idyllic, but it wasn't very idyllic for Penn because she was terrified of her father. Okay. And I guess he had very harsh disciplinarian.
Short fuse,
that sort of thing, and she was very free-spirited, as she'll always be. I mean, she's just a hippie. She's a hippie when she's 8. She's a hippie when she's 40.
Awesome.
That's just how she is. So,
just a person. Yeah, she's having a good time.
Yeah. So Penn, they didn't get along very well here, and we'll talk about otherwise. Penn had some problems in her childhood. We'll talk about.
Really?
She went to the Pingree School in South Hamilton, Massachusetts, which
Beautiful.
is an all-girls day school founded in 1961. In the family mansion of Charles Pingree.
Wow.
So she went to school in a mansion rather than a
she
industrial
went to a school
building
named after a man whose mansion they went to.
Yeah.
To learn.
Wow. After she graduated, she moved to New London, New Hampshire to go to Colby Sawyer Junior College, which is now Colby Sawyer College. She graduates with a degree in 1970, and then she marries the boy that she met in college.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Nice time. Colin Campbell is his name. And she's very happy because she wants to get away from her family because she does not like them. So she wants to kind of get away, and getting married in 1971 was the way you did that.
That's the way to do your own thing.
Now yep. They'll eventually have 3 children together, Justin, Kira, and Haley.
Okay.
And they settle down in Wilmot, New Hampshire. Yeah. And, they hang out. She learns to weave. Her and another woman named Julie learned to weave. And she was really good at it, as we'll find out later. She makes a living at it later on, weaving. So, yeah, she did all of that. She's big in the artisan community in New Hampshire. Everybody knows her. Everybody says she makes beautiful napkins and mats and table runners and shit like that.
Oh.
She does well. Yeah, she's doing well here. She divorces Colin in 1985.
Okay.
Moves back to New London, where she gets part-time work as a gardener and a flower arranger. So that's
a florist, right?
I guess so. I don't know if maybe your job is just maybe the florist buys the flowers and plants them. And I don't know. Yeah, the arranger just puts them in.
Just puts them in to make them look great.
I'd love to know the differentiation. What's the line between florist and flower arranger? Where is it? Where does that shit sit? So she worked there. She did that. She worked for one season at a farm and a live preservation museum where she was fired for her opinions on how the estate should be landscaped. She's very forceful. Didn't think they were doing it right.
Yeah.
She was passionate about landscape to the point of she'll lose a job. I will lose a job over this shit.
You're pulled into a corporate office. Bitched about the greenery in the parking lot.
I will lose a job over greenery. Don't fuck with me. Jesus.
Fuck these. These are stupid myrtles.
This is wild, man. So she's always known as, she's very thin, very tan. Everybody knows her as very thin, very picture Magna from something about Mary in terms of, they keep describing her as very thin, very tan.
New England tan. Is it New England tan, or is it like she goes to go get tans?
No, she's always outdoors. She's always hiking. Okay. She's always in the sun. So her tan even lasts into the winter. She does well here. Yeah, she keeps a decent relationship with her ex-husband too, which is nice here. She takes long walks. When it snows, she goes out in the neighborhood at night and walks around, and the people who have kids, she goes and makes snow angels in the front yard. So the kids come out the next day and see snow angels and think that, I guess, angels of the snow made it. So
that's either adorable or fucking horrifying.
Or weird. You have to cover up your footsteps. Otherwise you go, well, the angel walked in from the road. That's
fascinating.
Weird.
The angel stood up and walked back to the sidewalk. Weird.
Fucking wings aren't worth much these days,
the wings would help with all this goddamn snow around.
No, they trudged through 2 feet of snow, looks like. Would have been way easier to fly.
This shit's almost hip deep, and that angel really put in work for us.
Luckily, kids are stupid and don't know that, and they just see it and go, wow. They don't fucking know. A 4-year-old runs out. Hey, look at that.
Yeah.
Now, Penn, like I said, she's in AA later on and stuff. So you're going, well, where's the alcoholism come from?
Yeah, what's happening?
What's going on there? Well, she also has something that she hid for a long time that she dealt with after a while, is that she was sexually abused as a child for a long time.
Oh, no.
So that was hard, and that's why she drank. She said that was her way of self-soothing. She was a real discreet drinker, everybody said.
Really?
Nobody that was close to her suspected she had any kind of alcohol problem, anything like that.
Didn't know.
No, she was not the type that was, sloshed at 6 o'clock coming in. Where's the dinner? I thought we were eating now. By the mid-'90s, she couldn't take it anymore. She's hospitalized. She has what's described as a nervous breakdown, which I don't know what that could be. A large range of things here.
That could be something that a man just couldn't tolerate.
Yeah.
What is this, a nervous breakdown?
What are you having, a nervous breakdown?
No, she hate you.
She checked herself in here.
Okay.
Because she was having a hard time and she just lost it. Checked herself into the hospital. This though made her talk about her childhood.
Yeah.
Put her alcoholism on the table, all these things that she had, a double life basically in her own mind, this partition that she had made from the rest of the world. She kind of opened that up and let people do that.
It's tough to put yourself into a mental facility and not understand that you're about to go through some pretty serious fucking withdrawals.
Exactly. Yeah.
So those shits are going to come to the surface. And you're like, why are you shaking so much, homie?
Yeah. Why that and just everything else too, because now she starts talking about the sexual abuse, and so she's
not masking it anymore.
Trying to clean the slate.
Good for her.
So she tries to quit drinking a few times and fails, as it's hard to do. It's like a Coke machine. You got to keep pushing it back and forth. She finally gives up drinking for good in the mid-'90s and joins AA, and that's her way of, and she keeps going to meetings, even 10 years later. She's still going to meetings. So she also began, the process of therapy about getting molested and all that sort of things. She, I guess, also made herself a pretty good advocate for women who were trying to get them over trauma and get sober. And anybody who came into AA that had that backstory, she was a very good help for them. They could lean on her because she knew what they were going through, and it was very helpful. So in 2001, her 2 oldest children are living on their own. At that point, she's still got her youngest kid, but her 2 oldest are living on their own, and she gets married to somebody else here. Mm-hmm. Remarries to a landscaper from Goshen.
Goshen what?
I think New Hampshire.
New Hampshire?
Yeah. A guy named Richard Rankin. So old Dick Rankin over here. He's Dick Rankin, like
maybe
he's ranking
wash
dicks.
It, sir.
Rankin, dicks. Not Reekin, Rankin.
Wow, Rankin Dick.
Like he's ranking his favorite penises from 1 to 10.
I mean, some girls charge for to do that on OnlyFans.
You never yet. I mean, who knows? Hey, everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. The most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover.
Yeah.
Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing.
No.
They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro-laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently. Wherever your problem areas are, tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right, let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going, look good out there, and you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable, and you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmie's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah, they're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about a very cool place, Thrive Market. Yes, we are both looking to get into the healthy swing this year. The problem is I don't know what's in everything, and I don't know if even I'm qualified to even read the labels to know if that's good or that's bad. Right. There's chemicals in things, and there's things floating around. I don't know what I'm doing out there. One of my favorite features, and I know you were talking to me about this, is the Healthy Swap Scanner in the Thrive Market app. Yeah, it's simple. You scan any item, and it'll instantly suggest a cleaner, healthier grocery alternative, which is
it's great.
Amazing. Yeah. That's great. Thrive Market also takes the guesswork out of finding these safe, healthy foods. For example, like I'm trying to get my protein intake up for energy. I'm always moving around. I need stuff, and I love that you can filter their site by the high protein options.
Nice.
It's very cool, and you can personalize this portion, and you can put filters on it, and get ready. You should be ready for a junk-free start to 2025. Get ready for it and head to thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder and get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/smalltownmurder, thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
So he ends up being very jealous and controlling, which is not cool for her because she has a million friends. She does things. She talks to people. Not good. Yeah. Oh, he's also an alcoholic, which is a problem. He's drinking a lot.
What the fuck? Why is she allowing that man in her life?
It's things that are left over that you're attracted to. You can't unless you're. At what point do you have to be like, clear of all that shit to not go after the things that whatever your childhood implanted in you to go after, whatever weird shit that is,
And sometimes when you're ranking dick, the drunk one is highest.
It can get high. Yeah, you never know. He's also abusive verbally toward her. He yells at her all the time when he's drunk. And so within 3 years, they're separated. Mm-hmm. She buys a house here in Goshen. It's a rural house. It's near water. It's very nice here. Really beautiful. It's like the perfect house for her. She makes it all all earthy and has a garden and all. It's her
she wants it.
It's her dream house. Not a huge place, but very well put together, very nice. She's got a trust fund and stuff too. So career-wise, she's not very ambitious. She just kind of does what she wants because
sometimes you don't need to. Yeah.
Doesn't need to. That's the other. She doesn't live extravagantly, so she doesn't care.
When your dad's an industrialist, you don't got to fucking go too hard.
No, you have had a big trust fund since birth. You can chill a little bit. She's a weaver and a yarn dyer who sells her goods at the Norwich Farmers Market. So that's not someone who's really career driven. You know what I'm saying?
Damn it, that sounds like a dream.
It sounds, if that's what you're into, that sounds great. No one's
fuck around putting ink in thread, James.
I'm going to make it big as a yarn dyer, and all you motherfuckers are going to come to me when you need help after that and see who helps you, because it ain't going to be me. Ain't going to be Edith Yarn Dyer over here. No.
Wait for my yarn dyeing blue check mark on Twitter.
Oh, man. Big hot shit right there. So she's also active in community stuff. She's the Goshen Town representative on the Lake Sanape Protective Association board.
Oh, yeah.
And also a member of the Friends of Mount Sanape, a group working to stop expansion at the Mount Sanape Resort.
Awesome.
She likes preservation of nature.
Yeah.
She's into that. So she is doing her thing. This is how she's described in the 2000s, early 2000s, by the book here. Quote, she cut a striking portrait, petite, slender, and tan. Pen couldn't be described as anything other than stunning. Her long, once brown hair had finally been allowed to turn silver, and her frame, though slight, bore muscles of a woman who made a habit of hiking and swimming several times a day.
Fuck yeah.
She's like a sinewy nature woman.
Yeah, she's doing it.
Yep. Everybody said she's kind of laid back. She wears a lot of oversized clothes. A lot of these big jangly bracelets she wears. She collects them from like all of her travels. She'll get these big like bangle bracelets that are
wears them all,
clanking all over her arms all the time. Everybody says when she's moving around, she sounds like a silverware drawer being jostled every time she's there.
Yeah.
So she does very well. She drives a Honda CRV. Her home is nice. It's on the sloping shores of a lake. She's all earthy, like we said. She's doing that sort of thing. Fluff, though, that's her dog Fluff here. He got his real name is Anisi Hyssop. That's his dog, full dog name. But that's from a purple perennial herb that grew wild in New Hampshire. But she liked to just call him Fluff, because who the fuck is calling their dog Anisi Hyssop?
What the fuck is that?
Use that at the dog park and see if everybody doesn't look at you.
Anisi Hyssop, get over here!
Get over here now!
Hyssop.
Someone's like, is there a kid missing? Is that a kid he's calling?
It's an Anisi Hyssop.
What the hell is that? Looking for a drink? Is that a beer? What is that?
Is that backward language? Like fucking Twin Peaks?
That's that Japanese beer I heard about. Yeah, it's good, I heard. You should try some. Yeah, the Anisi Hyssop. You got to try that one. So Fluff goes everywhere. Grocery store, family gatherings. They said if the weather's not too extreme, if it's not, because it's not too hot up there most of the time, if it's not too cold in the winter, Fluff would just hang out in the Honda CRV with the windows open, chilling.
Really?
The farmer's market where she sold stuff wasn't dog friendly. A non-dog friendly farmer's market. That seems like you're keeping two parts of a Venn diagram apart, and those are dog people and farmer's market people are the same.
Also, you're taking the animals away from the actual market of the farm. Like, we're going to take everything that you make, all your products, and we're taking them to market. And none of you fucks are allowed to be there.
It's very weird.
It's bizarre.
It's a bizarre thing. So she would sneak Fluff into her booth, and he would hide behind her stuff and just hang out there the whole time.
Boy. That's a good boy.
Yeah, he would swim with her, hike with her. She'd be in the canoe. He'd be sitting in the fucking canoe with her as they're going. Yeah. So she's closest with one of her sisters out of her 10 siblings. She's got a sister, Jessie, who's 13 years younger than her.
Huh.
And that's who she's close with. And, that she said that, like, it's in her will that, and her ex-husband agrees to this, if anything happens to both of them, that Jessie's the kids go to her.
Oh.
The guardianship of the children. Probably Fluff, too, I assume.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Well, I'll trust you with my kids, but not Fluff.
I only go so far with my trust.
Fluff's going to someone responsible.
You can have these fucking kids.
Yeah, the kids will yell at you when they need to eat, but him, you got to feed him. So she is, she goes here. She basically is a free spirit who does what she wants whenever she feels like it. Hikes, bikes, swims, weaves, goes to the farmer's market.
Very New
does
England
whatever.
and very New Hampshire, really, because that outdoorsy shit, that's a specific person in New Hampshire.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
They like make clothing specifically for those people.
Fuck yeah, no, that's a big section of a lot of people up there. Penn, she built a stone path that led down to the shoreline and everything like that. It's the thing with rocks. She collects these flat rocks from her walks, so she has this big pile of flat rocks she collects. It's interesting there. She also has a studio to work in, a yarn dyeing studio apparently here. And everybody said it's wonderful. Jessie described her house as a tranquil, beautiful, homey, and a little on the funky side too, like her sister. Yeah. So, she is going out with Jonathan Purick is his name here. Yeah. They met at an Al-Anon meeting in Newport, New Hampshire. He liked her. Thought she liked the way she carried herself and all that sort of thing, and everybody liked her. She's real social, and he was into it there. He had just gotten out of a relationship and didn't know if he wanted to start something new, but he liked her, so he was in. So they would spend some time together. She was in the middle of a divorce at this time, so she wasn't ready to go out with him yet. And so they would sit a lot of times in the car and talk and have long talks. And Penn's doing Al-Anon because of her second husband being a drinker. Al-Anon is for like family members Yeah. So she's trying to figure out what her role was in the drinking of him, in his drinking.
Interesting.
Which is interesting because I think maybe he's an alcoholic and you were near him is probably your role in it.
Yeah. I mean,
it's more about why do you attract that? Why are you attracted to that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I would worry about more of why I'm attracted to that.
For sure.
What's that thing that makes me, what about that triggers in my brain to want to be with that person? That's what I would worry about. But I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't fucking know anything. So she said that she was going to get a divorce. And so he asked her out on a date. And she said, he said, I want to take you to a concert or something. She said, I would probably date you, but I have to be divorced first. So I'm not going to date you until I'm divorced. And he found that irresistible. He's like, this fucking woman's got integrity. What's up with that?
Well, there's that, but there's also the yes, but give me some time.
Yeah.
Fuck the time. You just said yes.
You just said, but guys will take that. We'll take that and we'll go, all right, that's all right. I'm planting seeds.
Keep an eye on my, What date is it? I'm going to put it in my iPhone now with an alarm.
Yeah. You plant tomatoes. You don't expect to have tomatoes right now. It takes a while.
Yeah, it's just seeds.
The seeds in the ground. I'm waiting. Shit's going to sprout. So he thought that was attractive, though. Yeah. And their divorce, Dick Rankin's divorce with Penn, is finalized September 15th, 2004. And she starts a relationship with Jonathan in earnest here. Yeah. So, she's interested here. Now, the 23rd of February, 2005, Jonathan gets a call from work here from A.A. Peter, who took Joanne DeFore to her dentist appointment.
Yeah.
So Jonathan Purick gets a call at work, and he says, I just had to take Joanne into town because Penn didn't show up to take her to her appointment. And, where is she? Do you know where she is?
Right.
And he said, I saw her the night before. We went to an Al-Anon meeting, and we talked for a while afterwards. She wanted me to stay the night at her house, but I couldn't. So I went home, and I called her in the morning, and she never answered the phone. She said, I just figured she was walking fluff around the lake or some shit. She does that all the time. So, yeah. So this lady, they're Peter here, who is like we said, the boyfriend or the friend who drove the woman to the dental appointment.
Joanne?
Yeah, he said Joanne's all upset. And she said that, it's so odd and she just has a bad feeling about it. And Jonathan says, well, I don't feel right about it either here. I'll call her too. Maybe she'll call me back, whatever. So Jonathan here, he had to drive some guys to an AWOL appointment, which is another way of life meeting.
That's got to be another one of those things, right?
Yeah, it's something like that here. It's a life skills support program for addicts here.
The amount of support that the New Hampshire offers, that is unbelievable. I love it.
These aren't big areas, too.
Right.
These aren't like cities. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Resources to help people with AA and fucking AWOL that I just found out exists.
I didn't even know that exists. Yeah. Who knows? They even have that shit. I don't know. We don't even know what that is.
Fuck that is.
So Jonathan decides that he's going to drive to Penn's home after the meeting there. So she's not answering the phone, doesn't understand it. He spends, he's wondering what's going on. He gives 2 guys a ride home who attended the meeting as well. He's headed back, and he said, do you mind if I stop? I have to check at my girlfriend's house. Do you mind if I stop somewhere real quick? No problem. So, you're driving. You're giving us a ride. So
it's your car.
Yeah. So he pulls up about 9:30 p.m. The light was on. And he was like, okay, well, that's good. That's, and maybe she's in there. He has one of her garage door opener remotes.
Oh. Okay.
So that's how, he can get in the house. So he opens the garage door, and her CRV is parked in the garage.
Oh.
Okay, light on, car in the driveway or car in the garage. Good sign. He says to the passengers, you guys stay in the car for a minute. I'm just going to go inside and make sure she's okay because she hasn't gotten back to anybody, and I don't know what's up here. So he ends up, he opens the door. He has a key to the house as well. Yeah. He opens the door. He opens it. He's kind of scared. He's like, am I going to find, her body parts scattered all over the place or what here? So he calls. He opens the door. Penn. Nobody there. What's going on? He doesn't know. He goes into the bedroom, the bathroom. Maybe she slipped and fell, hit her head on the fucking tub or something.
Right.
Any place a person could hurt themselves in a home and be unresponsive, he's looking for that. Maybe she's here. Maybe she's there. And also, you'd have to go check down by the river. Maybe she's fell in the lake or something. She fell, hit her head on a rock.
There's so much wildlife here, too. There's fisher cats. Them shits are terrifying.
Yeah, we don't know. Snapping turtles. Who the hell knows what happened? They talked about earlier, there was porcupines in her woods. Maybe there was
there's those too.
Porcupine accident. So he's looking around. Everything seems fine. There's nothing destroyed. There's no blood anywhere or anything like that. The bed was unmade. You could smell paint drying in the air, which means she's been doing yarn stuff and painting. Yeah. So he's like, okay. Dirty dishes and pots in the sink, which is fine. There's a towel on the floor. Towel on the floor in the bathroom. Okay. Like she had gone, took a shower and some laundry kind of strewn about, but that's it. That's all she can find. So he goes over and he plays her answering machine messages because he's getting scared now. So he plays her answering machine messages because her car's there and she's not, and this isn't normal. Yeah. So there's calls from Joanne saying, I got to get to my dental appointment.
Come get me, yeah.
Then there's Penn. It's me, Sandy. Call me. I'm having lunch now. I want to talk to you more about the bombshell you dropped on me this morning. Yeah. Which was that you should get back with your abusive ex-boyfriend.
Call your old man.
So this guy, he's like, bombshell? What's going on? Does that have something to do with her disappearance, a bombshell? Yeah. So then he heard a bunch of his voice on there. So he's going and, he's like, whatever. Then Fluff walks into the room.
Hey, buddy.
And he's like, what the fuck? Okay. Because his next thing he was thinking was she might be outside hurt somewhere.
With a dog. Yeah.
Not if he's in the house because she wouldn't go out and do anything without him.
Yeah, why would you leave him inside if you're going out?
Yeah, she would never do that. And then he also thinks even if she went out with a friend, she'd probably take the dog with her. So it's weird. So he stopped calling for her. He stopped, saying Penn. Yeah. And he's like, she wouldn't go anywhere without the dog. This is fucking weird. She must have left with somebody else. And so he leaves. So, the 2 guys were outside, waiting for him. He goes and he just said he had a bad feeling about the whole thing. And, he didn't know what to do. So let's introduce that ex-boyfriend into the equation here.
Okay. Let's talk about him for a sec.
Sandy Merritt's ex-boyfriend. His name is Ken Carpenter. Okay. Old Ken. I think it's Kenneth Russell Carpenter. Yeah. He was one of 3 kids. He's the middle brother of 3 kids here. He was born in August 1951. He's from Greenfield, Massachusetts. It's in Western Mass. Kind of moved around a little bit when he was a kid. His father went to different jobs, so they moved around. Didn't grow up with a lot of money or anything like that. They moved to Florida for a while. Then they ended up coming back to New England, his family, and just trying to find something that works for them here. He grew up in Chelmsford, I guess. Chelmsford? I don't know. Chelmsford, whatever, Massachusetts. It's a suburb of Boston. And his cousin he hung out with, his cousin named Alan, said he hung around with with Ken all the time, and they would drink together and get shit-faced together, and they started drinking pretty early on, youth, 12 years old, sitting on the grass hill behind the house drinking beers.
Jesus.
New England. You know how that works.
Sitting on a grass hill getting a stomach ache at 13.
Yep, going to throw up later, but that's fine. 13, 14, 15. His parents are Alfred, but he goes by Bud. That's his dad.
Yeah, I could see how you get there.
Bud Carpenter.
Alfred Bud.
And his mom's name is Bernice, goes by Bernie. So Bud and Bernie are his parents.
Yeah.
So they end up buying the town drive-in theater, his parents.
Really?
So they run the drive-in movie theater. It's a 2-screener.
That's an interesting group of people, I imagine.
That's interesting, which would be cool if you were a kid, though. The access to popcorn and pretzels and movies, that'd be amazing. I would love that as a kid. That would have been great.
Just an interesting person that owns the drive-in. I've never seen the person that owns the drive-in, but I imagine they're weird.
Carnies. They're carnies.
They're strange people. They're carnies that stay put, but they just live a carny lifestyle in a very foundation-built place.
That's what carnies do when they want to settle down. When they're tired of life on the road, they're like, let's get it just a home carnival we just do all the time. No, we'll sell cotton candy still. Same shit, but we're going to show movies now.
That's all we're going to do. Stay put. That's what we're going to do is just stay put.
That's
Where?
All.
At the drive-in.
At the drive-in. That's fuck. It's going to be, it'll be just as weird, but just, we stay and they come. We don't go to
You ever been to the drive-in and been like, we should never leave? That's what we're going to do.
We're never going to leave.
Nobody's said that ever. Everybody that's gone to the drive-in was like, is the first movie over yet? Can we just go? I don't want to see the second one.
They owned a second one that turned into a porn drive-in. Which is amazing that you can show giant open-air screens of porn. That's crazy. That's even allowed.
Is hilarious.
I didn't know that that's real. Yeah. That was a big deal. A lot of theaters in the 70s went from regular movie theaters to porn theaters because the movie theaters weren't making as much money and they were doing the same thing.
The
drive-in porn. Yeah. I mean, then you have a place to fuck too, I guess, if that's what you're doing. Your weirdness, jerking off in your car.
Very secluded place to tug, that's for sure.
That's what I mean. It's more private. It's your own private box in the jerk theater. That's what it is.
Try understanding what the fuck's being said on that tiny tinny speaker that you got to hook to your window.
Oh,
you got to
need
touch
the
that
sound.
after somebody got jizz all over their hand.
You don't need the sound. You know what they're saying.
Fuck me harder. I got it.
You'll hear it coming from the car over there. Don't worry about it.
That is fucking amazing. Yeah, I can't believe, because those are always by a road, and as you drive by, you can see the movie playing. You can see somebody clapping cheeks on the screen 500 feet off the road.
As you're driving by, wow, look at the tits on her. Hey, kids, look at the tits. Let's go. All right. Parents with kids, keep off of Route 42 after dark.
After about 8 p.m., we got a double feature.
It's a double tonight. You're going to watch. It's a big one.
I used to put porn DVDs in my friend's DVD player in his truck because he had monitors on the back of his headrest. And I just flip that on as we're driving around at night. And there's 2 monitors on the back of his headrest just playing porn while we're driving through Old Town Scottsdale.
Some poor parents are like, you fucking assholes.
Look at these dirtbags.
So that's what he's got, is a drive-in theater, which makes him kind of cool. The other kids like going to the drive-in theater. So as a teenager,
it's like
not bad here. And everybody likes Ken, by the way. Ken's a real easy dude making friends and shit like that. Everybody says he moves between cliques very easily.
All right.
Kids call him Jeb for some reason.
All right.
Don't know why.
His name's Ken. That's why.
Ken, Jeb. We don't know why.
Yeah.
He has long hair in the 60s that he keeps always keeps his hair long. And, everybody said he looked pretty cool. He's a good football player, played linebacker and offensive guard. He's only 5'11", but he's about 220, 230.
Oh, that's a big kid.
He's a stocky dude, stocky young guy here, and built real solid here. He did really well tackling the shit out of people. Everybody said he was just a maniac tackling people. They said he seemed to like it.
Oh.
Yeah, it said it was kind of his tackles were the subject of an inside joke in the school yearbook. He said later on, though, he said, sure, I liked hitting guys. Who doesn't? That's what he said. Right. Likes to hit guys there. So that was what he was into. He spent most of his adult life in Massachusetts. He's got married and divorced twice, had a son, bounces around from job to job. He works construction. Carpenter works construction. He said, well,
you should be building cabinets.
Why not? Yeah. He repaired race cars. He did construction. He did landscaping. Just
Jack of all trades.
Just something blue collar he can latch onto, but no real career goal here. So one thing he's does do well is stay sober, though. Here, yeah, he apparently stopped drinking in 1981, went to AA, and has stayed sober since. Has done a really good job of staying sober. He was really into it. Even his sponsor was impressed with him, and everybody said he was super into the program, loved it. And after a couple years, he becomes a sponsor to other people in the program here. And everybody said he's got a real magnetism and in these AA meetings, because that's his in his field. He's good on the football field. Great. In AA meetings, that's his area, all sorts of charisma, and he can do anything. But then you get him at a job, and he's useless. Can't do much, can't make his way, can't really do that. So, that's kind of how he goes here. He, even after his hair went gray, still wearing a big, long ponytail and all that kind of thing.
That's a bold move.
Big, thick beard as well. Yeah. And the thing is he would kind of find women in AA also. That was the way he did. He would troll for women in AA. And, everybody said that because he didn't go to the bar or anything, that's where he went, was to meetings. And so he would everybody said he could get a real good read on the female members. He could see their vulnerabilities and,
he's preying on.
He's like a guy in a bar who's going, look at her, she's doing this, that. Same thing. He's just doing it in AA meetings. That's all. And he knows all about the steps and all that kind of shit. So people are impressed with him. They think he's good.
But girls don't go to AA meetings to get laid. There are a lot of girls that go to bars to get laid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But he doesn't go to bars though. He goes here.
Right.
So that's the thing. And he knows, he can tell. There's also, he's got a little predatory thing with women. So there's a certain sixth sense with predators. Yeah, it's the wounded antelope theory.
Yeah.
It's one of those. So I feel like that's how he does it. And he's kind of transferred, rather than drinking, he wants sex instead now.
Wow.
He wants women and sex. He also has a wife as well during all of this, as we'll talk about here.
Say what?
Cynthia Harvey is her name. She goes by Harv. Everybody calls, not Cindy, Harv.
Not Sin, Harv.
Harv. Penn and Harv.
Oh,
and
boy.
Jeb.
Yeah.
What is happening with this?
There's no rhyme or reason.
None at all. So he finds love in an AA meeting here in Nashua, New Hampshire. He goes there. He meets Harv, and she's blonde, and he thinks she's kind of hot. She's in her 40s. Well-built, attractive, and she's going back to school to become a nurse. She's also very religious. She goes to church regularly and socializes with all the church people. And, she is very into the spirituality aspect of AA and all of that sort of shit. So she likes that sort of thing. So they started dating. Ken started dating Harv in July of 2000. They moved in together. Yeah. They look like a mismatched pair because he looks like kind of a dirtbag.
Yeah. And she looks like a 40-year-old put-together woman.
Like career woman. Yeah. So it doesn't, it's a little odd, the two of them together here. And he's not really into church shit, but, she would encourage him to go to church or, why don't you talk to the pastor? And he'd say, all right, he talked to the people, but he just wasn't really into it. He just kind of doing it. You know what I mean? So they eventually, they moved to Sullivan County and they found a cottage in Lempster, New Hampshire. Yeah. That's how we get here. And it's less than an hour from her nursing school and the medical center where she works as well.
In Nashua? Yeah.
Yeah, there. So she gets a job working second shift at the Sullivan County Nursing Home as a nursing assistant, and she goes to school during the day.
Jesus.
So she has quite the schedule, as you can imagine.
Wake up at 6, get home at 10.
Absolutely. Now, he can't really find a job that well. He's having a hard time finding a job here. He tries. He can't really find much construction work around here. Yeah. He gets hired as
seasonal anyway.
It's seasonal in the Northeast, especially. Yeah. It's very seasonal. That we just had some painting done, and they were like, last job of the year, and that was like pre-Halloween.
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
It was pre-Halloween, and they were like, this is the last outdoor job of the year we're doing. And I was like, wow, that's right.
After this, we're going to bed until we're going to hibernate.
Until April. I mean, that's literally till mid-April. So he got hired as a public works employee for the town of Newport, but the director fired him after the probationary period.
Oh, so he got 90 days. Goodbye.
And they were like, nope. He told Carpenter that you're just not getting the job done. Yeah. Not what I'm looking for. So he does some time as a driver for a concrete and gravel company, and he works at Walmart, as we'll talk about as well.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, none of the work he doesn't make a lot of money. It's not a lot of steady work. It's a bunch of part-time things he's mashing together here. He also was telling his brother that he wasn't comfortable with Harv being the breadwinner. So he didn't like that.
Well,
I mean, make money then.
Feels like that's your fault, man.
Yeah.
If she makes more than you, that's because you don't make any money.
No, and then he would purchase big, heavy machinery, backhoes and bulldozers.
My God.
Yeah, to resell or to do jobs on the side type of thing. Shit like the guy from Love After Lockup who's like always buying stuff. Chase, is that his name?
Chase? Yeah. Just buying stuff and losing it.
They're like, you don't have a business for that, though. He said, well, I'm going to make one. No, you're not.
Yeah, but it's a Hilti. Yeah, but it's used, and now it lost value. Go return it.
Jesus Christ. So the machinery would be expensive, and she said it would pop up and vanish from her property, and she never knew what he was doing, and he'd spend money, and it'd be gone, and it was weird. So the AA meetings everybody's attending, apparently there's a real popular site called Millie's Place in Newport. Yeah. It's kind of it's establishment just for the purpose of holding meetings. That's why it's there. Yeah. Okay. I don't know how it must be. Somebody must have donated some money or some shit to that, because I don't know how else that's a business exactly. But
I don't know.
Yeah, it was just
like a charity.
It was on a strip mall too. Yeah. It was just like in a strip mall. And so the members were comfortable there, which is nice. Carpenter attended several regular meetings there, including the ones at Millie's, because he goes to a bunch of different meetings, Ken does. Jeez. And the other alcoholics, they loved the way he approached it, and he's sponsoring people there as well. He's sponsoring all sorts of people, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, Harv would go to these meetings as well, but she had between her work and school schedule, she had no time.
It's hard. Yeah,
so she could rarely make it, and she would go to different meetings than Carpenter did, because she'd just go whenever she could, whenever there was time. So, that's how it went. They would socialize with other couples, and, everybody knew them as a couple and all that kind of thing here. So they meet a couple named Nicholas and Dot Monahan, and they're friends and all that sort of shit. And they would tease Carpenter and Harv, saying that you two are so lovey-dovey all the time and all that sort of shit. They're saying, why don't you two get married? And Ken doesn't really want to get married, but then he says, all right, fuck it, I'll get married. And he proposes to Harv, and they're going to do it for in early 2003. They, all that sort of thing. Then one night, the couple was on their way, supposed to go to the Monahans for dinner or something. Yeah. The truck pulls in, and Harv comes out, runs into the house, screaming or sobbing and crying and hugging the wife of the couple they're coming to see. Carpenter is in the truck, car still running, arms folded.
One of those nights.
Yeah. I was like, you can tell what happened here. So Harv explained that she and Carpenter got in a fight over something small on the ride over, and Carpenter got really mad about it, and way madder than it should have been for a small thing. He pulled the truck over and got out, and he started walking back home on the road.
Been there.
Yep. She shouted to him, said, get back in the truck. And finally, he got back in the truck and drove silently the rest of the way to the house.
Yep. For
a social engagement.
Let's go have a good time.
Now let's go to these poor people's house. Jesus.
Holy fuck.
Harv told her friend that she didn't know that Ken could get so angry about nothing, and then said, I'm not even sure if I should marry him anymore. Mm-hmm. But they do get married. They get married in 2003.
Wow.
And the ceremony's held at Millie's, also. And after the vows, they all went to the other end of the shopping plaza and ate Chinese food, as one does. Strip mall.
Go on the marriage fucking joint.
Yeah, the old strip mall reception.
6 doors down.
Pretty sweet. No, we're going to pass the subway. As we pass the subway, everyone. Don't say anything. Now, she ends up with more equipment in the yard here. On their wedding day, he had some new equipment in the yard that she didn't know how he would have paid for it or where it came from, and she's got all upset. She's like, I can't believe you're making me mad on my wedding day. This is crazy. It's a lot. So then that got smoothed over. Then he gets a postcard in the mail, Ken does. It was postmarked from Maine and signed by a woman named Cindy. And she was telling him that she was moving to Sullivan County. So Harv interrupted it and said, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
So he said, it's nothing. It's just a friend and, from one on old meetings. And she, I've known her for 15 years and blah, blah, blah. Now, she said that he's unemployed and he's sitting there. She said if she needs to find him, she knows where he is, and it's watching TV. He likes police procedurals, Law and Order, Cold Case, CSI.
Cops.
Not that. No.
Oh. Like
drama.
The actual, yeah, all right.
Procedurals where it's like there's a murder and we're going to solve it. Right. One of those. So at one of the meetings at Millie's, Ken meets Sandy. Okay? Meets our friend Sandy from before.
Merritt,
Merritt. So Harv worked nights. She worked Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and every other weekend at the nursing home and didn't get home till midnight. So what Ken would do is that was like he was like a bachelor that night. He'd go out, he'd fucking go to the meetings, he'd go out and have coffee and Chinese food with the other members and, do his thing. Then on January 23rd, 2004, Sandra Merritt shows up. And she's trying to get back on the wagon, and she's been on and off and all that sort of shit. So they welcomed her. And Ken here, he's attracted to something about Sandy, and it's the wounded antelope thing. She's there with bangs hanging over her face, acting like she doesn't want anybody to see her. And he's like, oh, I can coax something out of that. Yep. So there's something about her. She talked about her life. She talked very sad about the whole thing. They talked about her problems. She said he had been seeing a psychiatrist and been taking antidepressants, so he's trying to get better. Ken is. But there's something about her that intrigues him. So it's weird because his wife is apparently, according to everybody, much more attractive traditionally. Like you'd look at them and there'd be no contest as far as who's more attractive, but he is somewhat.
He's not interested in that. What he's interested in is something. Yep. There's some other gain there that he requires, whether it be monetary or ego stroke.
I was going to say, I think he looks at her and goes, oh, I can get her to worship me.
She will adore me.
She'll adore me. Exactly. That's what it is. And she's just getting back into AA, and it's not apparently it's a rule, not a rule or a law. It's not like Love After Lockup where I knew it was a rule. I didn't know it was a law. It's not that, but apparently that you're not
you don't date each other. Yeah.
You're not supposed to date in AA, really. It's kind of discouraged. It's one of those, but you're definitely not supposed to date anyone within the first year of their recovery in the program, especially if you're in it. They call it the 13th step.
Yeah.
Is don't fuck the guy next to you in AA.
Right.
In your first year.
It's like the extra borough down there in Florida. It's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So he said that, well, I mean, but she's been in AA before, so this isn't really like her first year in the program. So, it's fine. She knows what she's doing. So they talk, and Ken talks to her and says, I have 20 plus years of sobriety. There's no magic trick, and, take it one day at a time and all the shit from the book. And she says, okay. He offers to be her sponsor, which, by the way, men are forbidden to sponsor women.
For women, yeah. Because obvious.
It's a power dynamic that you don't want to have there. So there is, I don't think women are allowed to be sponsors for men either. I don't think it's
probably
it's
frowned upon
ways.
Also. Yeah.
So, but Sandy liked him and thought he was cool. And, she asked him, are you married? You see, you have a wedding ring.
Yeah.
And he said, my marriage is over. I'm going to be asking my wife for a divorce. So she said, okay. And then they started having an affair.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. He never did ask his wife for a divorce.
No.
Even though the marriage isn't going right.
This is great.
Yeah, well, also, she's gone most of the time. So he can do what he wants, and that's what he does. So he said that, no, our relationship's terrible. It's going to be over any minute now. I'll be moving out. We're definitely getting a divorce. And, also, she's the one, I'm on her health insurance.
Oh.
And I'm going to get antidepressants. I'm going to therapy. I wouldn't be able to have that. And, I'm only sticking with her through all of that. You know what I mean? So,
right.
But in Sandy's mind, she's just holding for a minute until he gets a divorce and they can be together. So, yeah, they'd go out and hang out. They'd see movies and all that sort of thing. But mainly, they would hang out at her apartment at the farmhouse there.
Yeah.
Yep. Harv would go to work at night. And he would go over to Sandy's house, and they would eat and watch TV and fuck, and that was their whole night.
Wow.
They couldn't get enough of crime scene of CSI. That was their jam. Yeah.
Crime scene investigators.
They loved that shit. On Thursday, Harv worked Thursday nights, so he's there always when it would come on.
In 2004?
In 2004, yeah.
Yeah, that's the best time.
And then she also worked Monday nights, which is great because CSI Miami's on that night, so they could watch that too. I'm not even kidding. That's what they said. So they were do that, and they loved it. They felt like CSI was their thing,
and millions of other Americans.
It was one of the highest rated shows.
The reason,
at that time.
but
their thing.
It's the reason that it's like 30 seasons of it.
Yeah, no shit. I think it's still going on.
Yeah,
they would sit and during commercials talk about all the facts and the forensics and who did this, and they would really get into it like they were trying to solve a case.
It wasn't that fucking hard to figure out.
No, that's the other thing.
Every one of them was like, I think it's the husband.
Yeah.
I think that guy's a dickbag. That's what I
just got a bunch of insurance money. That can't be good.
Every time. There was never an episode that at the end I was like, wow.
Yeah. Oh, man. That blew my mind, man. So then he would sneak back between 10 and 11 o'clock. He'd let the dogs out, straighten up, and act like he's been sitting there just bored and lonely waiting for his lovely wife all night.
Meanwhile, he knows everything Grissom's up to.
Meanwhile, there's something happens, and he's like, on CSI, I mean,
like
I didn't see it tonight.
I mean, what?
I was cleaning stuff around here. One afternoon, he's working at Walmart, though, and this is when shit comes to a head. This is a comedy. This is a small-town comedy scene right here. Like, this is incredible right here. Okay, he's working at Walmart, and both Harv and Sandy enter the store within 30 seconds of each other.
Oh, fuck.
Within 30 seconds of each other. So he saw them both at the same time as far as being there. He was like, oh, shit. Yeah. So he ducked out of sight and tried to hide in Walmart. Which there's a lot of places to hide in Walmart. I'll give you that.
Sure is, yeah.
There's a lot. Get in that gardening section. You can really get in behind some like bags of mulch or something. You can get in there.
Get behind a pallet of fucking garden hoses.
Yeah, a tire section. You can get yourself in a tire if you're thin enough.
Fuck, man, in seasonal time, you can climb in the wrapping paper. Watch out. Yeah. You're never going to find me.
He's going to be like in the Santa Claus outfit, pretending to be Santa Claus, hoping nobody notices, hiding in plain sight.
A light bulb in his mouth that lights up.
Jesus. So this turns into a farce very quickly because they'll start walking toward that area. He sneaks out to another aisle. He's like, yakety sax is playing. And the coworkers all stopped working to watch it because they thought it was fucking hilarious. They're like, check it out, dude. He's going there. She goes. Oh, he's never going to. Is she going to find him or what?
She going to get him. Oh, he slipped out.
Oh, he would stop when he'd see one turn the corner. There'd be another one in the other end of the aisle. He'd go, oh, shit. He'd run that way.
Fucking Ben Stiller movie.
And both of the women, not only are they looking for him, they're asking every employee they come across, do you know where Ken Carpenter is?
I don't know.
So they point, I think he's working over there. So they'll point, and then he has to run. And then the other one, an employee will see him, and then they'll say, I saw him going that way. So it's like this crazy farce of a bullshit thing.
It's incredible.
It's incredible. So he begs one of his coworkers, please, please tell them that I already left. Just tell them I left already.
Tell them both.
I'll go hide. So they do, apparently. So at Millie's place one night, Ken and Sandy keep their relationship. No one knows about it in AA. because they're not supposed to be doing it, and he's married to a woman who also comes to meetings.
That everybody is very well aware of. Yeah.
Yeah, not good, and hangs out with people in there. So they would both come. They would both come to the 7 p.m., and they just keep their interactions to a minimum. They're just be like, hey, how you doing? Like anybody else. Just
That kind of makes it harder.
That doesn't work.
When nobody knows.
And they
that
know.
makes it so
They fucking
hard.
know.
Yeah, they fucking know.
They know when there's a fucking...
These are grown adults that
Yeah.
can sense sexual tension
Yeah, I
because
feel
they have
sexual
some
tension.
too. Yeah.
little glances, things like
Yeah.
that. They never sat next to each other, which why wouldn't they ever sit next to each other?
Dead
They're avoiding
giveaway.
each other. Yep. And Sandy would talk to the other women after the deal, and Ken would keep his distance. And but apparently, no one suspected the affair. It worked out. It worked. One day, though, Sandy's chatting with some women after the AA meeting, and she becomes friends with Penn. That's how she met Penn, Sandy. Penn was, knew that she was suffering and wanted to help her, and so they ended up starting to hang out. And she said, hey, come to my place. You can hike around the lake with me or whenever you want. And, so she did. She came over, and her and Penn and Fluff would do the trails. They go around the lake, and there's a lot of fun there. So she said, you're perfectly allowed to do this, even if I'm not home. Feel free to use my property to get to the lake and enjoy. Then November 2004, Sandy pulls up one day with Ken Carpenter in the car.
What?
Yep, they go on the land, they walk around, they find a fucking porcupine, they feed it an apple, they do all this shit. They're doing everything. Then, when they pop out, they see Penn and Fluff in the backyard, and Ken lets go of Sandy's hand and tries to act like they're not together. And, so Penn knew that there was divorce going on and all that sort of thing. So Penn and Ken, that's going to be confusing.
It is bizarre.
So, he didn't know if Penn knew anything about this or what the deal was, if Sandy had told Penn about it. So it was all very uncomfortable. So they leave, and, Penn says, come back anytime. Go ahead. But that's the first time she saw them, together and holding hands. She was like, that's interesting. Then over the summer, then she had, Penn ends up finding out about the affair because Sandy tells her about it. And Penn is finishing up her divorce. And, going into the relationship with Jonathan. And, Penn isn't judgmental, though, with Sandy. Okay. She said, and she was asking Sandy, Sandy was asking Penn, is he leading me on, you think? Do you know what his relationship with his wife is like? And Penn's like, I don't know shit about any of that stuff. So, I don't know anything. But you're not supposed to, he shouldn't be having a relationship with someone who's in their first year of sobriety. But she didn't, really push to, say you should end it or anything. Sure. Then it starts continuing here, and it's all in Sandy's apartment. Oh? Because they're small towns, so they can't be seen together.
Yeah. You can't do it at his house. Fuck.
Yeah, I can't do it at his house. So, he would call her at work all the time. He was saying hi, and then he started to kind of show a jealous streak as well. Oh. He's married, by the way.
Yeah, right. What the fuck?
Yeah, he's jealous. She knew that he was married to Harv and all that sort of thing, but she was under the impression that they didn't do married couple things together. They weren't like a couple. They were just technically married but getting divorced soon. Okay. And just stayed together in the house because of financial reasons, but not being like a married couple. You know what I mean? Just on paper, that sort of thing. He even told her at one point that, and then so Sandy said, well, then can I come to your house? And he said, fuck no.
Why would
you crazy?
do that?
Yeah. So she said, you said you were unhappy with Harv and you were going to leave her. Why do you stay? And he said, well, it's the money. I can't leave because then I won't have it. I got no steady job. I can't support us. I'm on her health insurance and all that sort of thing. So she says, okay, I get it.
Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop because you earn cash back at over 3,500 stores. Fashion, beauty, electronics, home essentials, travel, dining, concert tickets, and more. Your favorite stores like Lowe's, Levi's, and Nike pay Rakuten to send them shoppers, and Rakuten then passes on a part of that payment to its members as cash back. You're already shopping at your favorite stores. Why not save while you're doing it? It's a no-brainer. Membership is free and easy to sign up. Get the Rakuten app now and join the 17 million members who are already saving. Cashback rates change daily. See Rakuten.com for details. That's Rakuten. Your cash back really adds up.
Escape reality and immerse yourself in a gripping tale of mystery, murder, and romance with June's Journey. Join June as she unravels the truth behind her sister's mysterious death and use your observation skills to find hidden clues and uncover dark secrets. Plus, you get to explore stunning hidden object scenes, from New York parlors to Parisian sidewalks, as each chapter reveals captivating mysteries. How sharp are your observation skills? Put them to the test in June's Journey. Download for free today on iOS and Android.
So October 2004, he loses his job at Walmart for shoplifting from Walmart.
He stole from Walmart as a Walmart employee.
Yes, the loss prevention officer suspected him of stealing from the store for some time now.
Okay.
So she followed him around the store, and he took mundane household items and stuffed them into shopping bags and loaded up a cart.
Wow.
Now, Harv was sick, so some of the things he stole were orange juice and NyQuil.
Oh, my God.
So he pushed the cart out of the store to his car, and the security officer confronted him and said, "What the fuck?" Now, the security officer is a woman named Terry Casey. And Carpenter, she said he was just cool as a cucumber when she confronted him. He said to her, quote, "This never happened." And then he opened up a bag of potato chips that he just stole and offered her some. Want some?
This is just between you and me. Have some Lays.
And he said, "I'm walking to my car and I'll pay you tomorrow." She said, "No, you're coming back inside and we're handling this now."
No, Salt and Vinny's.
He then looked her up and down and asked her if he wanted to have sex. Quote, "No strings attached."
What the fuck?
He got these roles reversed, is the thing.
What do you think?
She's
like
like
a cock for you. What?
She's like 30. He's like 50, and she's like apparently was an attractive woman, and she's like, "I'm not fucking no."
And he's got sour cream and onion breath now.
Yeah. So then he started to get mad when she said no. Yeah. Then he started to get pissed off because his charm didn't work. Mm-hmm. So she found him. She said he got wound up quick, but then cooled him down pretty quick. She said she'd lose her job if she didn't come back inside with the goods. Like, I have to, or I'll lose my job. So he pushed the cart back inside and said, "Okay, here's all the stuff." And then he got fired the next day.
This never happened.
Oh, this never happened. Yeah, here, sour cream and onion. Huh? Barbecue ruffles.
They're kettle cooked. Give it a run.
Come on. They're good. That is a cocky thing. Anybody gets caught stealing, offer the person who catches you some of what you stole. That's
wink at them and say, "This never happened."
It's never
Give
happened.
them their chunk of the spoils, and then be like, "Wanna fuck?"
Wanna fuck. No strings attached.
Shoplifting makes me horny.
Yeah, get real horny when I get caught doing things. The horny shoplifter.
That is the most amazing confrontation I've ever heard of.
His nickname should be the horny shoplifter, without a doubt. That's incredible. That is. I've known a lot of kids, like when I was a kid, that got caught stealing. None of them ever thought to try that.
I don't know, man. Did you try to fuck the officer?
Want to fuck? No strings attached. Eh?
I won't call your wife about it. Don't worry.
Come on. Holy shit. So
it's so funny.
One time, October 2004, it's a meeting at Millie's, and before the meeting, Carpenter ends up talking to a guy named Jim Swan, who was sitting next to him there, and Sandy entered the room, and fucking idiot Ken said, "That's my girl." And then Jim said, "I'm going to go ask her how her dog is doing," remembering that she had shared something with the group. So Ken says to him, "Oh, Moisha's fine. You're not going to ask her out, are you? Like, you're not going over there to try to, scheme on my girl." And the guy said, "Why would you ask that?" And Ken said, "You're a single guy." And then, so his friend was just all like, "What the fuck?" Thought that was weird. So after the meeting, he pulled him aside and he said, "Am I missing something here about you guys? What's going on?" So Ken told him, "All right, fine. We're having an affair. My marriage is kind of on the rocks. And, I'm trying to, he said that he wanted to build a home on a parcel of the farmland that Sandy lived on. Her brother Greg's.
Yeah.
So the guy asked him, "How do you really feel about Sandy?" And Ken said, "I love her very much." And then they talked out in the parking lot, and Ken said he hadn't told anyone about his affair or his feelings, and he told Jim that he's going to leave his wife. And his friend said, look, I have a big house. I live all alone. I'm single. If you need a place to stay for a couple weeks, place to crash, get back on your feet till you can find a way to get through all this, you're welcome to stay with me because you need that when you're getting a divorce, you know?
Yeah.
Somebody's couch or air mattress is going to help. He said, I don't know. I'll think about it. So November 14th, 2004, Nicholas and Dot Monahan threw a housewarming party. Those are their Harv and Ken's friends from AA. And it was a new house. And they said it was actually a house blessing, not really a house warming. Alcohol-free potluck. That sounds awful.
Alcohol-free because you're in luck, there's pot? Is that what it is?
No. It's alcohol. There's no booze, but don't worry. A bunch of different incompetent people all made food that none of it goes together.
A bunch of non-chefs made food that doesn't pair. Come on over.
Don't worry. Fucking Denise made the deviled eggs, so it's fine.
There's deviled eggs and barbecued tiny weenies. And of course, absolutely, there are tacos.
No shit. There's going to be tacos. So Penn ends up there, and because Jonathan wants to go. He's into more religious shit than she is. So they, this is one of their first appearances as a couple, so they're going to go out as a couple at that point. Yeah. They walk in, and, they're taking their coat. They lead in Penn and Jonathan toward the kitchen, and as they go through, they see that, holy shit, it's Ken and his wife. And they're like, arm around each other, laughing with people, just being a married couple, being a married couple who's not in the middle of a divorce, obviously. Right. So that's what's going on. So that's that. Now he sees Penn's face and is like, oh shit, that is interesting. I didn't expect Penn to be here. So he is supposed to also come with Sandy for Thanksgiving dinner at Penn's house in a week. Yeah. And now he's with his wife. So it's very, very interesting here. And now Harv didn't know any of this shit that was going on. Right. So he ends up cornering Penn and says, please don't tell Sandy you saw me here with Harv. And she said, I'm not going to lie for you, dude. Like, that ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
And he said, please, you're just going to hurt her. And Penn said, you're hurting both of them. And he said, I'm not if you don't tell them I'm not.
You don't say anything, then everything's fine.
So she then was going about talking to him about the fifth step, admit you're wrong and all that kind of shit.
Oh, boy.
That's it. And then he said, oh, yeah? Well, there's another saying in the program, sweep your own side of the street. So they're going back with cliches from the program, back and forth with each other. Yeah, well, a penny saved is a penny earned. Oh, yeah?
Stitching time saves 9, motherfucker.
That's right. You know what I'm saying? Measure twice, cut once, bitch. That's all.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch.
One in the hand is worth 2 in the bush, my man. That's all I'm saying.
Stop putting all your eggs in one basket.
That's all I'm saying here.
Nothing better than that kind of argument. Holy fuck.
So Penn leaves. Anyway, Sandy ends up confronting Ken about his marriage in the apartment after the housewarming because Penn went and told her friend. Yeah. November 17th, 2004, he came over because Harv was working. He'd come over on Monday, and he expected Penn to have told her by then, but she didn't. But by the other night, so CSI Miami was fine. But now regular CSI is going to be fireworks. It's going to be wild shit over there.
Yeah.
He's like, good, thank God, not on a CSI Miami night. I
need that one.
Yeah. So she told him the relationship's over. I can't take your lying. You're trying to control me. You're jealous. Yeah. And he said, you can believe Penn if you want, but I don't think you should because it's bullshit. So she told him to leave, and he said, okay, and he left. Now, rather than say, well, got away with that without my wife finding out about it, should probably just call that a win on that front and
head on home and forget all this ever happened.
Yeah, he said, no, I really like her, though. I'm gonna really stick with her. He thought he could get her back here. Yeah. So the next evening was Thursday, regular CSI night.
Right.
Harv leaves for work at the nursing home. Ken stayed home, watched CSI, by the way, alone, and was upset and was wanting to get Sandy back. He's like, I'm watching CSI by myself. This shit isn't right.
Bullshit. You got nobody to kick this around with.
So he called her and said, I just want to talk as friends. Just want to be friends here. CSI. She said, we're not friends. Don't call me here again. Click. Done.
Mm-hmm.
He showed up on Friday night, November 18th. Showed up at Sandy's place and said, Sandy, we can straighten this out. Sandy. He said it like fucking John Travolta.
Come on,
in Grease.
Sandy.
Come on, Sandy. So he's out there. Come on, Sandy, please. He's got the John Cusack boombox. He's doing it all. So she said, don't come here again. Get the fuck out of here. Kicked him out. He kept calling her and calling her. He called up her employer, the Animal Inn, tried to talk with her there. She didn't want to see him, she said. Stop calling her. He called back again and again. He goes over her home over that weekend, even though she said to leave him the fuck alone. On Monday, November 21st, Sandy came home and found a message from him on her answering machine. And it said, quote, I want to know if you'd like to go to Thanksgiving dinner with me. I figure we could go as friends. So she called him back, and she had forgotten that they discussed going to Penn's home on Thanksgiving before they broke up. So now she was like, fuck, why'd I say that? So she said, I don't know why you're telling people that we're friends because we're not. And she slammed the phone down. Okay. The next day, she started to get worried because it's constant. She started carrying around the number to the local police department in her pocket, Sandy does. Oh. She was afraid he would show up at her workplace and make trouble. The day after Thanksgiving now, Black Friday here. It's weird we're doing this on Thanksgiving. It wasn't planned like this. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it was at Millie's again. That's that Friday. People had the day off work, so there's a lot of people coming in and out for meetings during the day. I just saw my family. I'd love to drink right now. Yeah. You know, believe me, if there's a time when
I've got enough bread and meat in my belly to soak up so much of this. Give me shots.
Shit. So Penn gave that night Joanne, the dental appointment lady from the beginning, a ride to the meeting. Jonathan was there, her boyfriend. There's another guy in the group named Ronnie, and there's also Ken Carpenter. That's who's there. Sandy nor Harv, neither of them are there that morning. Okay. So they're talking, and Jonathan, Penn's boyfriend, thought maybe this is a good time for me to talk to Ken, man to man. Maybe I can make him understand. You know what I mean? So he talked to him in the back of the room, and he said, look, number one, you're a married man. If your wife doesn't know about this, then you shouldn't be doing it. And number two, you know you can't be hitting on a newcomer to the program. That's a big no-no. That's verboten. Can't do it. Fucking bad. So Carpenter said, I really care about Sandy. I really do. I can't help it. That's what's going on.
You don't get it, dog.
He was like, yeah, but it'll all work out. She'll get it that it would happen. So he told him, you have to stop calling her. You can't keep bothering her. And Ken was like, yes, I can. You know, I want to do that.
I'll bother her, yeah.
Yeah. So Jonathan ended up walking to catch up with Penn and Joanne, and they're standing in front of the video store talking about the holidays. And suddenly they hear a car engine revving up and coming closer to them. And it's Carpenter's tan Jeep, and it's barreling at them.
Uh-oh.
It stopped short like a squeal in front of them.
Oh, my.
And he swings out and gets out of the fucking car, and he is rip-roaring pissed now. Yeah. And he is screaming at Penn. That's who he's mad at. And he says, my personal business is none of yours. You don't get to tell me how to live my life or tell others either. You go fuck yourself and all that kind of shit. He then said, and you revoke my invitation to dinner? I was supposed to go to Thanksgiving with Sandy. And Penn said, I didn't even know she invited you. I had no fucking idea about that. Yeah. And he said, what a bunch of hypocrites. You need to sweep your own side of the street, God damn it.
Holy fuck.
Screaming idioms.
Yeah.
Fucking, oh my God. So
carts and horses, and it's getting ugly around here.
It's crazy. So then he got back in his Jeep and slammed the door and peeled out of the parking lot. And she was like, whoa, what the fuck? That was crazy. Yeah. So all of them were like, that was wild. So then the next few days, he's even more determined. He's trying to get a hold of Sandy. He's always been able to sway people, and especially this woman who he thinks like she's not even as attractive as I can get. She should do whatever I want.
I can pull hotter than her. She should be so cordial about this.
But she's just getting madder at him for it. Yeah. And it was really, he's getting desperate for Sandy, and he's really pissed off at Penn at the same time because he thinks Penn did this. This is all her fault.
Interesting.
That's what he thinks. So he couldn't understand, why would she do that? Why wouldn't she mind her own fucking business? He writes in a notebook that she's jealous of what we have. And then he a bunch of other stuff. And then he said, she must be a lesbian.
Okay.
And she wants Sandy for herself.
Right.
That's what it is. Yeah. So obviously. November 28th, Sandy goes to Millie's place and looks for any of Ken's cars before she goes in. Doesn't want to go to a meeting with him there.
Right.
He didn't come to Millie's until the meeting was underway, and then she's already there. So she's stuck there now. So he's engaged. He talking about a lot in the meeting. He talks a lot about forgiveness when it's his time to share.
Oh, my God.
As soon as the meeting takes off, Sandy bounces out the door, but he catches up to her and says, let's talk. And she says, leave me alone. And he's going, come on, we'll work it out. She's running away. He's going, Sandy, I love you. Come back to me.
Yeah.
She's saying, it's over. Leave me alone. This is getting scary. Then November 28th, 2 more calls from him. Then he comes knocking at the door at her apartment.
Oh, my God.
Sandy, let me in. We can talk about this. And she's like, what the fuck, man? This is fucking crazy. So she thought about calling the cops, but she's like, it's going to take them a while to get here.
Yeah.
I'll call my brother. He's in the farmhouse.
Smart, yeah.
Yeah, so she told him, my ex-boyfriend's at the door. He's going nuts. So he goes outside and, he flicks the porch light on and goes out there. By the time he gets out there, he sees the Jeep flying down the driveway, leaving. Yeah. So she invites the brother in. They talk about it, and they're talking about the details. She's like, this is what happened. This is why he's going crazy, because he didn't know any of this, the brother. Right. So then as they're talking, the phone rings. She said, it's him. I know it's him. So the brother's like, I'll fucking pick it up. You can talk to me.
This. Yeah.
He picks up the phone and tells Carpenter that you're not to call this number, you're not to come to this property, you're not to harass Sandy again, and hung up. And that was that. And he said to his sister, tomorrow we go to the fucking police. This is ridiculous. Yeah. So the next day, Ken receives a call from an officer at the Newport Police Department. He tells Ken that Sandy didn't want any more contact with him. And Ken says to the cop, I feel badly for having put Ms. Merritt in this situation. Can I call her to apologize?
What did we just tell you?
The cop said, no, the opposite of that, actually.
Yeah, rather, you just told me. Good enough.
Wow. He said, no telephone calls, no visits, nothing. And Sandy said that you stay at least 1,000 feet away from her. So he later says Carpenter will say that he asked the cop if he could write her a letter, and the cop told her that, yes, letters are okay. Oh. That's what he says later on. So a week later, less than a week later, Greg Merritt, her Sandy's brother, gets home to the farmhouse and walks over to the apartment door that she lives in there, and on the front step, a big fresh bouquet of flowers for Sandy, from Ken. So in her request for the restraining order, Sandy said that Ken refused to leave her alone. She wrote in the affidavit here, I'm afraid of what he will do next. He's disregarding any warning. He's been volatile about these circumstances towards my friends, and I don't know what he'll do next. Yeah. November 30th, Sandy tells a police officer that she had broken up with him about 2.5 weeks ago. She started to harass her, calling constantly, tries to talk to her at program meetings, and all of that. Now, she had asked this cop to talk to him and ask him to stop.
Yeah,
restraining order isn't enough.
Right. If a grown adult that has nothing to do with your relationship shows up to tell you that your behavior is fucking out of line, you should feel so embarrassed.
So
you should
stupid.
feel like the biggest piece of shit ever, and
fucking
be like,
moron.
you know what, dude? I will
How'd
never.
I get here?
I'm disgusting. How dare I?
How is it that I've come to arrive here
Truly.
in crime and sports terms? Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. So he said, you're going to get charged with harassment if you keep bothering her. So, and Ken said, I totally understand. Then 10 minutes later, Harv called the cop back.
Oh?
And said, why were you talking to my husband? Because she didn't know about any of this.
No.
And he refused to tell her because he can't. It's none of her business. So
really,
he refuses to tell her, and she hung up. And that was that.
Okay.
So a week later, December 4th, this cop talks to Sandy again, and she told him that Carpenter was still showing up at her house, including that day, December 7th. A day earlier, she found a letter from him on the front porch. 2 days earlier, he left a letter and flowers on her car parked in her driveway.
You can't do this. Even if it's 1,000 feet away, if it's at her car, like that's still harassment, right?
Oh, I would say, yeah. It's in her car. You got to stay away from all of her shit. You can't that's making contact with her, leaving her letters and buying her gifts. So they're long, rambling letters with a lot of references to Penn in them and all that sort of thing. And he writes he's got a lot of resentment toward her and all that kind of shit. Just pissed off. She did say that there had been no history of abuse toward her, Sandra said. Like, he never hit me or anything. So she said that she didn't want to go to court because she couldn't miss any more days at work. So can you please talk to him and tell him that, stop. So he said he called Ken and told him that he couldn't have any contact with her, even through letters, flowers, or email, or smoke signals, or telepathy,
or
anything. Skywriting.
Prayers, none of it.
Plain banners, nothing. We can't write it in rocks on a mountain so you can see it from none of that. Not allowed.
Whiteboard messages.
Nope.
At the AA meeting. None of it.
Those are bad. So he said, I advised Ken that Sandra did not want to be with him because he's a liar and a married man. He said, this is amazing here from a guy. Look, you're a liar and a married guy. What the fuck are you doing? From a cop. Ken stated that he understood and now had some closure as to why Sandra didn't want to talk to him again, and he would leave her alone now that he understood.
Okay.
So the cop told her you should get a protective order from the court, which would make it illegal for him to contact her. And prior to Sandra leaving, she acted like she did not want to get the order. This is not just the original thing. This is a whatever. So the next day, though, she applied for a domestic violence stalking petition against him.
Wow.
She wrote that he called her multiple times, tried to visit her and all that sort of thing. Some men from the program tried to talk to him about her, she said. And she said he seemed to take it well, but then he comes storming back really angry. In front of those guys, like, oh, yeah, dude, totally get it. Yeah, you're right. No, I don't break her balls, and I won't break her balls. And then he's like, how fucking dare you tell them that shit? He's crazy. So the carpenter, Ken, asked the judge to deny the restraining order, saying it would only cause him to always be on guard. He said, I believe some plaintiffs do this in order that the defendants have to keep these plaintiffs on their minds, and I don't want that. Like, this is her way of stalking me by getting a fucking restraining order.
What a bizarre thing to think.
He said, my wife has been through enough. The plaintiff has been through enough. I would just like to dismiss this and get on with our lives. Mm-hmm. His wife also, Harv, testified against the order, saying it would prolong contact between them and keep her husband from necessary AA meetings, which could pose a risk to his life. But the judge says no. Restraining order. He can find other AA meetings. He can drive to another town if that's what he really needs.
Go to Boston.
So a temporary order of protection it's December 9th, pending a hearing on January 4th about the whole thing. So on January 4th, I believe, January 4th, Carpenter, Ken, goes to Frederick Evans' house, who he knew from Millie's place. Yeah. And he'll say this later on, Evans. Mr. Carpenter came to my home unannounced and pushed his way past my tenant through the breezeway and into my kitchen. As I entered the room, I asked Mr. Carpenter quietly, what's happening, Ken? And he said, Mr. Carpenter relied angrily, that's what I want to know. Carpenter told this guy that the police wanted to serve him with a stalking petition filed by Merritt, but the petition could not be served until 9 a.m. the next day. He indicated to this guy that he could do whatever he wanted to between now and then.
Holy.
So this Evans said that they said that they had asked him to leave because he said him and his brother had bad health problems and they didn't want to be involved. So this guy said, Mr. Carpenter is more and more out of control, and my brother and I feel threatened by his actions. So, yeah, according to this affidavit, he had come there, and he's then also, by the way, 4 days later, arrested for violating the restraining order against Merritt by calling her at work.
Yeah.
Now, on December 13th, the judge issued issued a permanent protective order against Carpenter. That's in December, but January 8th, he violated it by calling her at work, like we said. Right. And the restraining order, he's not supposed to do anything. He's also ordered to pay $1,500 bail, surrender any weapons he may have, and refrain from alcohol use after he violated the court order.
Oh.
Now he's on bail, so he can't have any of these things. A separate court order filed against him in December by a friend who said, that's the Evans guy, so he's got another restraining order there. Wow, that's a lot going on here. Now, Penn is missing, like we said. That's where we are. We're up to that point, February 23rd. AA members tell investigators that Ken had constantly talked mad shit about Penn, once pulling a member who had hugged her away from her and telling him not to hug a traitor. That Penn's a traitor.
Yeah.
One guy said Ken felt Edith Meyer was responsible for that breakup. On 3 separate occasions, Penn contacted the Goshen Police Department with concerns about Ken, though they didn't provide details. The 3rd time, Penn called to say that Ken had followed her home, jumped out of his car, and screamed at her before driving away.
Oh, boy.
And then we find out also, February 23rd, Sandy got the early morning call from Meyer saying you should get back with him. Everything's great. That's why it's so unusual. You just heard all of that. Would Penn at any point call her and go, I was totally fucking wrong about this guy. You should totally move in with him.
I swung and missed.
My bad.
It was the 9th inning. We're down a couple runs. It's a 3-2 pitch. I got to swing. I got to let it go.
That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, so they also said a neighbor, the chainsaw accident was one that he had the day before. So they said Penn would have had to have been with him on that day, the 23rd, because how else would she know what happened the day before to Ken?
Right.
So a neighbor, by the way, of Meyer, nearly 2 hours earlier, saw a man with a gray beard and hair, gray hair and beard, long, sitting in a station wagon parked near Penn's driveway, hunched over and talking on a cell phone. And the carpenter's wife, Harv, owns a station wagon of the same description, by the way. The police conduct huge searches in the woods around Penn's house. And after all this, though, they come to focus on Ken because of court records, police reports, calls, interviews. I mean, everyone says, I don't know, he was mad at her. Any enemies? Not except for this guy who was really pissed off at her.
Just this one guy.
So they question him. And he tells police that on February 23rd, he went to an appointment with a mental health professional in Claremont because when they find him, he's going to be in a mental hospital later on, by the way.
Really? I figured he'd be out there cleaning the side of the street.
Just sweeping. Just out here sweeping. He tells police he had a panic attack and couldn't go inside his appointment once he arrived, so he instead drove to Greenfield, Massachusetts to hang out with his brother. That's what he was doing on the 23rd.
Yeah.
So he said police couldn't verify with anyone that Carpenter had even been in Massachusetts, and his brother was away in Texas at the time. So,
Yep. You should have asked him. Hey,
you should have asked him first. Shit. Well, I guess that's good. I was there. Well, there's no one to say you were there. Well, I was there. Your word against mine. So they also, he told police that he hadn't seen Penn Meyer in 2 weeks here. Meanwhile, a witness where Carpenter lives reported him seeing him burning some brush on February 24th, and that person said it was unusual that Carpenter was cutting brush in one part of his yard and using a pickup truck to haul it a considerable distance to the pit next to his house. This didn't make any sense. It's not what he normally did. And also, it's late February. It's a weird time to cut brush.
Right, yeah.
So on February 27th, the police, with Sandy's cooperation, listened in on her telephone conversations.
Yeah.
Between her and Carpenter. During this call, Ken tells Sandy that he's spoken to God.
Oh, boy.
Had a little chit-chat with the maker here, okay?
Oh, boy.
We sat back, we chewed the fat a bit, and I gotta tell you some stuff. He said God had spoken to him, obviously, back. You know, it's a conversation. Two-way street here. It's not just me, you know,
I'm not gonna dominate his time. The guy's busy.
And you want to let him talk. He's probably got things to say. You know, he knows stuff.
Yeah, he's the wise one.
So, he said that he spoke to him. Ken denied any involvement in the disappearance of Penn, but told Sandy that, quote, things would be revealed about Penn.
Oh.
Real weird and cryptic. Also that day, the Goshen Police Department, where investigators were, received a phone call from an anonymous male who said he had given Penn a ride to the airport and that she was okay. I wonder who that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry, she's fine. I gotta go.
I took her to the airport. She's good. One of the troopers on duty said the voice sounded just like Ken's.
I'll bet it did.
Talked to him a bunch. The caller then told the police that they should go to the Goshen County store where they would find a key at the payphone there. Now we're sending them.
Okay, yeah.
So police rush down there. They discover a safety deposit box key from the Lake Sinape Bank attached with bright orange duct tape to the phone booth, which is, you don't see a lot of bright orange duct tape. The safety deposit box ended up belonging to Penn.
Yeah.
And inside of it were jewelry, silverware, and her will.
Silverware.
She had been the last person to access the box, according to the bank records, in March of 2004. So it's been a while, almost a year. As the then shit got weird. If you want to, then it gets weird.
Yeah,
Okay. Sandy on March 3rd gets mailed a package that's postmarked February 25th, and she hadn't been home to get the package when it was delivered because police had helped her find a place to stay away from here in case somebody was after her. Because she's scared. So inside this envelope was a typed up agreement letter signed by Penn in which she transferred all of her property to Sandy.
Really?
In addition, the envelope contained a $400 check from Penn made out to Sandy with, in the memo line, written in for dog sitting.
Yeah.
And the cop said that Sandy told me she had no idea why these documents were given to her. Made no sense.
Right.
She also discovers that there was a March 3rd telephone message left for her in which Ken called and said he couldn't believe that the agreement they had made he couldn't believe that the agreement had not yet made the news, and then he hung up. That's what he said.
Yeah.
I don't know. She didn't know what that meant. During the investigation, police do a search warrant at Carpenter's home now, where they discover a box in which a folded document was hidden beneath a pile of magazines.
Okay.
The document, dated February 23rd, was a typed agreement to sell personal property, which had been signed by both Ken and Penn. Now, that's weird.
Yeah, he said he hadn't seen her in a month.
It was similar in appearance to the one that Sandy had gotten.
Right.
One of those. Penn's signature on the documents appeared to match a signature card that she had on file at the bank, so it looks like a real signature. Police also found at Ken's home a roll of bright orange duct tape, similar to that which was used to attach the key to the payphone at the store. Okay. Now, here's the other thing. They go to Ken's house, and they're going to search around. Now, they had gone and did a preliminary, and now they're going back. There's a big blizzard coming in as this is happening. Snow is piling up and everything. They needed to check a couple places in the yard, and they said that there was another hour or two of passable travel until the snowpack was higher than they could get through with their trucks, basically. So they're stuck here otherwise. So there's one small section of the backyard that had dimples in the drifts. Yeah. Snow drifts, but dimples, where you can tell that there's a lower area.
Lower, yeah.
Yeah. So they go out there. It's a fire pit. That's why there was a fire in there before. So the snow, they said, is up to their shins, the detectives say, and they find the remains of paper and branches covering the outer layer. And they said the covering of new wood seems less like it was meant for fueling the fire and more like it was for, like, covering the fire up.
What's up? Yeah.
There was no active flame, and the top layer was ash, but there was some embers still going on the bottom.
Okay.
Now, in the ground, stuck in the ground near the pit, is a big, large stick that's 5 feet long and a few inches thick. And the bottom half was charred black and end was worn to a point.
That's
like if you
a
poke a stick,
yep.
That's a stirring stick. Yep.
Yep.
So it had been left about an arm's length away as if it, was a stirring stick.
It's just used, yep.
So you can grab it and do it.
Yep.
So the trooper kneels by the fire, pulls the branches out one by one, and he's examining the burned wood with his flashlight. He's in the snowstorm with a flashlight.
Jesus.
This is a guy who wants to find evidence.
This is a brave man. That's
He's
a
sitting
hero.
in a blizzard, and he's finding with a flashlight.
Sifting through shit with a flashlight.
And, with an inch of snow on his shoulder here. Wind gusts 20 miles an hour, too, and it's,
so
making snow drifts. And
so cold.
It's rough. So he uncovers a bunch of stuff, and then he finds another piece of wood in there that's not like the other bits of firewood in the pit. He pulls out, it's about the size of a thumbnail, and he turns it over, finds an item that's about the size of a thumbnail, turns it over, and his flashlight, and it shines on it real fucking bright. and it's a gem. It's a piece of jewelry in there.
Oh.
So they're like, what the fuck is this? Then they figure out that the other piece he's holding is a bone. This is a ring on a finger, he thinks.
Oh, wow.
He said it's about 1 inch long and looks like a chicken bone. He didn't know for certain what was going on here, but he didn't know if it was human, but he said at this point they're looking for people that are disappeared. We have to assume it might be.
Somebody turn the blizzard off so we can look in here.
Yeah, that's what it is. So that's what they do. They have to bring in a big fucking tarp to put over this shit.
Yeah.
To try to do this. He is grabbing other things, grabbing around because the snow's coming in his face. So he's just grabbing for shit, and he finds more bones.
Oh, my God.
And he's putting them in bags here. Then he sees a thin wire poking out of the ash, pulls it up, and he realizes it's not a wire. It's the frame to a pair of glasses.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. He said he knows what a fucking... He said, I don't know if it's a chicken bone or a real bone, but I know chickens don't wear glasses. So
very rare. Yeah.
Yeah. He said, it could be something just fell in a fire pit, but it just seemed a little bit odd.
Yeah.
So, he's doing this, and they look, and the other guy says, how do we process this?
Yeah.
We're in a fucking blizzard. Yeah. So what do we do? So they don't have a lot of homicides, even in the state of New Hampshire, never mind in this town. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. So they said sometimes they're called to examine a body found after a building's burned. Right. So they're trying to, they don't know really how to do this that much. So they said, well, how do archaeologists recover bones and fossils from sand?
Yeah.
They use screens. So they call up an archaeologist and get a series of stackable screens like you would
Start sifting it.
Sifting, and that's what they're doing. They do that. They repeat it, and they find more bones and more bones. Each time through, they can sift all the way down. They said, we can do some preliminary sifting, but we can't do all of it on site in the weather. We need to do it in a controlled environment.
Right.
So they did some of it. They poured dirt on the screen surface, and they're doing all this, and they found more pieces of bone. They were various sizes, up to 6 inches long. Some were flat, some were rounded. Each were, they said, charred to a different color, from black to gray to, they bagged them all and did all of that. They had an expert determine that determine only that the bones belonged to a human who was small.
Okay.
That's all they could figure out. And she weighed about 100 to 110 pounds, which is right in the ballpark here.
It's a small one, yeah.
So they're looking into a DNA analysis on the bones and still searching the fire pit. They said maybe that there's teeth that could be compared, something.
Sure, yeah.
So, they said they haven't found blood or hair samples or anything like that. So they don't know what to do here. They haven't even positively identified things as human bones. They don't know what to do. So they take it to the medical examiner who performed the autopsy on hundreds of bone fragments.
Yeah.
Here, they tried to put together a body. They assembled about 1/3 of a skeleton from the bone fragments.
Wow.
Which ranged from 6 inches long to the size of a grain of sand.
Jesus.
And the person is about pen size. Now, one of his sheds out there, they said it kind of looked like an outhouse. It was an old wood shed with a dirt floor, had shovels and hoses and, coffee cans full of nails and all that kind of shit.
Normal accoutrement, yeah.
Shed shit. They said that there were fuel containers, 5 red plastic gas containers, also a yellow diesel fuel container.
Okay.
There was a can of charcoal lighter fluid as well, and they took liquid samples of each fuel so they could match it to any accelerants they found in the pit. They also discovered a black backpack in your shed with your garden hose.
Why is that there?
They could tell it was full. They unzipped it. They said, some gloves, a flashlight, a belt, crazy glue, a lighter, a lock, some condoms. What does this sound like to you? And several knives and tie-down cords.
That's a whole rape kit.
That is a whole rapey, kidnappy kit there. That's so Ted Bundy'd be jealous of that kit.
Oh, boy, that thing's got condoms, too. So
Condoms.
No
so
DNA.
Yeah. So they said, could be a kidnapping kit. Let's fucking bag it up here. Then they go to the other shed. That's got chainsaws and bolt cutters and all the shed shit that you'd expect here. Stuffed in the corner, though, somewhat out of place, they thought, was a yellow rain jacket. Wasn't hanging neatly on a nail, and there was nails for that sort of thing. It had been kind of bundled up, and they thought it might have been covering something. So they picked it up, pulled away the raincoat. It is a .22 caliber Marlin rifle.
Oh.
Propped up with the muzzle pointing down, which is a weird way to store a rifle.
Yeah, you don't do that.
He took the Marlin and opened up the bolt, and there was a round in the chamber and more in the magazine. 11 .22 rounds altogether. Held up the butt of the rifle and looked in the raincoat. Inside the lining of the raincoat, in permanent marker, the word Ken is written. So this is his coat and his stuff. Yeah. Also, they find a gas station video.
What?
From the morning of, he was driving a Ford Escort on the morning of February 23rd, and they were hoping to find some evidence in there, and they ended up finding a video from a gas station where he was filling up the car. He kept looking into the back seat of the car repeatedly while he was filling up. On the video, the back seat contents are dark and shapeless, look like maybe covered with a tarp or blanket. There's something back there, though. And no matter how much they, tried to enhance it, they couldn't get a better view of what was in there, though. Yeah. But they think it might have been Penn's body in there.
He's looking over and over
he keeps
to make
looking.
sure. Yeah.
So in the truck, and when they look in the truck here, or look at his truck, on the floor was a candy wrapper, one for a Lifesavers Cream Savers. Remember those?
Yeah, they're delicious.
Those are pretty good, yeah.
Strawberry or the butterscotch?
They don't say. The
Doesn't say.
strawberries
Caramel?
are pretty good
Yeah.
here, yeah. So this is the same brand of candy wrapper that they found in the pockets of Penn's jeans at her house.
Oh.
They remembered in the notes of their first visit with Carpenter that he had mentioned to them that he and Penn both like the same flavor of candy. And he had wrote down, what an odd bit of things to tell somebody about a missing person. We like the same candy brand. So the back of the truck's bench seat was folded forward for storage. Behind the passenger seat was a roll of duct tape, orange duct tape.
Yeah.
Stuck to the seat also a 6-inch strip of orange duct tape. And so that's interesting. Also in the truck was a box of Federal brand .22 caliber bullets, same as recovered in the rifle. So there, he can't say somebody must have put it in there and put my raincoat in there.
Yeah. All right.
They
but 11 rounds in it. It holds 10, and then one
in the chamber.
That thing's ready to fire now.
Fuck yeah.
That's
right
disturbing. Yeah.
Yep. They go search his house. It's a 4-room house with a bathroom as well. Small house. There's an unfinished room off the bathroom that was used as a storage closet.
Yeah.
They rummage around the storage area. There were footlockers and suitcases and clothes on racks, and there's musty in there and all that kind of shit. He found a cardboard box up on a shelf. He lifted it, started looking through papers inside, and ended up saying, "Come in here, you got to see something." They found a piece of paper folded in thirds. At the top, it said, "Agreements to sell personal property." And it was a 1-page purchase and sales agreement template. But the template wasn't filled out. It didn't say anything in the blank blinds of what was being sold or what the price was. Yeah. But it was filled in with pen February 23rd, 2005, and it was signed Edith K. Meyer and Ken Carpenter on the bottom. And her signature matched. It matched the signature.
Like he was practicing.
No. She was there to sign it.
Oh.
Like he forced her to.
Uh-huh.
That's what they're thinking. Then they're looking at a red leather chair. He said it was nice, decent chair, and they're looking at it, and the seat cushion they realized was detachable. So they picked it up and put his hand underneath, and he pulls out a blue notebook from under there.
Uh-oh.
The writing inside was Carpenter's, and, they knew that because they had seen it before. And it said, "What's in my head? Smaller picture. I don't want to die today. Not yet, anyway." This was from January 31st. Uh-huh. And they said it read like a stream of consciousness rant, a lot of, scribbles and underlines and triple exclamation points.
Weird.
And somebody just spilling their shit on the page. They said on the page he was going back and forth from obsessing over Sandy and watching CSI to Penn's unsolicited interference. The one entry was randomly punctuated with "that bitch." Fucking with an exclamation point.
Yeah.
He said, "Are they together? If they are, I can let this go." At one point, he said he pleaded with God to let him know if he should move on to his life. With his life, he said, "Why do I feel so lonely inside? Tell me what to do." Said he was still every entry is like obsessed with her, mad at this one. Obsessed.
He's obsessed with a woman who he deems as less attractive, yet he's being rejected by her.
He can't take it.
Yeah, he can't do it.
And he said at one point, they said they find other writing, and they said, this doesn't seem like it's Ken. This is weird. Yeah. It says, I never meant for it to go this far. Okay. Then they said it was almost like it was a narrator, or almost. They said it explained how I pushed you and all this sort of thing. And they're like, why would he be using a different persona to give orders to someone?
Yeah.
And they said, oh, this is a script for somebody to read. Then they said I never planned on Ken hanging in there, is what it said. They said that in this, it said that Sandy, you should loving you was his only crime.
This is the shit he made her say on the phone.
And it says, Sandy, you should go drop the restraining order, take Ken home, and fuck his brains out. That's what he wrote.
That's what he wants.
Oh, that's what he wants.
Holy shit.
So they're like, okay, this is a first draft of the script he wrote. This is fucking wild. The script called for Penn to reveal that she had been carrying on a secret affair with a pilot. I'm going to Florida, and you won't believe this, Mexico and South America. Ken's going to house sit and drive my car until I return, and even said that they should move into the lakefront home together. Also in the notebook were letters written by this, quote-unquote Penn, him writing for Penn, one to the Goshen police and one to Sandy Merritt. She won the letters informing the cops that she and Carpenter had resolved their differences and would be house-sitting for an extended period. In the letter to Sandy, the writer said, go after him the way I had you stay away from him. Think of aloneness as a drink and stick to him like glue.
Yeah.
The writer said that Sandy promised to send Sandy a check to help with bills and to drop a line from Mexico. And the letter was signed, quote, Penn, and then in parentheses, the asshole.
The asshole.
Unfucking believable.
Why would he do?
Oh, my God.
Holy shit. The man has watched so much CSI. How does he know this is the worst one?
This is the dumbest shit ever.
How doesn't he realize it?
It's fucking nuts. So also back to that phone call on the day she disappeared at 7:40, obviously it's the same goddamn thing. Yeah. And they're like, holy shit, he was standing next to her forcing her to say this shit.
Right.
Wow. There's also in this notebook a crude sketch in which a stick figure man is pointing a gun with a fire in the background.
What?
With a fire in the background.
He is so bad at this.
He's terrible at this. Based on skull fragments found in the fire, the prosecutors think that she was shot in the head with a small caliber bullet, like a .22, and then was burned. Then they found the .22 wrapped up in the jacket.
With his name on it.
With his name on it and her very unique jewelry that she has. It's like special made. It's not mass-produced shit. Right. So it's like stuff she found at, whatever. That's and keys.
Farmers markets.
Her keys were found in a burn pile.
Oh, God.
They said, the police detective said, it's almost impossible to imagine the terror that Penn Meyer experienced that morning. Yeah. I would say. So they go and arrest Ken once they find all this shit. Yeah. He is at the Valley Regional Hospital in Claremont where he checked himself in.
Yeah.
And they check him in, they get him out, and holy shit, man. This is very fucking interesting, this whole deal here. So a little more weird evidence here. A police officer, once they get Ken in custody, they bring Sandy from a motel back to her house, and her dog was in the main house. So her dog was staying in the main house, so no one was there.
Yeah.
And they said she wandered around and peeked around the fridge and didn't know what to do. Then she stared at her phone, like she was all freaked out by the fucking thing. And then she saw an unfamiliar message on the caller ID, and it was from him. He said, "Hi, it's me. This is from the hospital.
Yeah,
I'm just seeing if you got that check and everything left for you. I don't understand that, but you suck." That's what he said.
What?
She was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Then she got the envelope with the sales thing and everything like that. And she's like, what the fuck? So the neighbors are like fucking freaked out by this whole thing.
Yeah.
They're like, what the hell's going on here? One guy says, when somebody's missing for this number of days, it's hard for us to continue to be hopeful. All week I've been hoping that somehow she would be okay. Yeah, Jesus Christ, I would say so. Another guy said that it's just so totally baffling that she would not be here anymore. None of it seems to make a lot of sense. I would say not. Another one here, a woman named Ellen Stetson, whose family runs a couple of businesses, said Carpenter worked for her family for a few weeks, helping pack maple candies they sell. She said, I never felt in danger around him. He just seemed lonely.
Yeah.
She said, very nice talking man, very good-natured. Big deal. So he's being charged with first-degree murder.
Yeah.
And the defense is they don't have any evidence. They just have, like, bones they think is her. That's not anything.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Which, by the way, they statistically, this is very rare for somebody to go after an outside person because of a domestic situation.
Right.
Statistically, extremely rare. It's weird.
Statistically, he's out of his fucking mind, though, and he's
crazy.
He created a different reality. So it's rare for somebody to lash out at somebody that's not involved in the DV, but he's so out of his mind that this is just out of the whole thing's out of the ordinary.
Fucking, it's bizarre. The whole thing's
truly
bizarre.
Just the whole thing.
There's a conversation. He calls his wife from jail.
Oh, boy.
And this is when he finds out they found all the rest of his notebooks out of a stump in the yard.
Oh.
They didn't find it.
Hidey hole?
His wife found him and gave him to police. Yeah.
Oh, that's uncomfortable.
He said, hi, babe. And
yeah, what's the spiral shit?
She said, then there was silence, and he said, what's up? And she said, the police were here last night. And he said, why? And she said, they took the stuff from the stump. And he said, how could they? How could they? What did you do? What did you do? And she said, I called the police. And he said, why? And she said, I had to. And he said, oh, Harv, no, like Ray Liotta when Karen flushed the Coke down the toilet when the cops came. They never would have found it, Karen. That's all the money we had. That's all the money we had, Karen. So
I was scared.
I was scared. They would have found it. No, they wouldn't have, Karen. So he said, you couldn't have. Tell me this isn't happening.
Dude, how else it's happening?
She said, you told me about it. You had no right to tell me. Why'd you put me in this situation? And he said, why? Oh, honey, don't tell me you did this. Please, please, please. To my God, why did you do this? And she said, because it's what God wanted me to do. I had to. And he said, no, that was Satan on your shoulder.
Oh, God.
That was Satan fighting you because I'm getting that much closer to God, and it's pissing him off that he can't get at me.
Okay, all these walls are keeping him out.
And she said, no, it wasn't.
No.
Satan doesn't like going through the metal detectors, his problem. He thinks it'll interfere with some stuff.
He doesn't like handing over his pitchfork
like,
at the entry of the jail.
Oh, he said, I don't believe this. Why didn't you just let it go? Why didn't you just let it go? I don't believe this. And she said, because God was ready for me to find it. And he was like, holy shit. He told her that she fell for a trick of the devil, just like Eve in the Garden of Eden.
Oh, my God.
Then said, I'm having a bail hearing. Why didn't you just let it go until I got home? And she said, why'd you even tell me? And he said, because you kept pressuring me to. And she said, Ken, look in the mirror. Don't turn this around on me. Sweep your own side of the street, Ken. She didn't say that. I added that, but that's what
she said. Look in the mirror. She told him.
And then he said, I can't believe you fucking did that. I, 5 eyes. I can't. I really can't. It's like a death penalty. I can't believe this. And she said it wasn't her fault. And he said, I'm glad I never admitted that I did anything because I didn't do it. I might have known where stuff is, but I didn't do it.
Oh, God.
And she said, I told them that. I told them that you told me where to look. And he said, I'm pretty fucked right now. I might as well just shoot myself right now. They'll never believe me. They'll never fucking believe me. And she said, they'll believe me because I didn't have to call them, but I did.
Yeah.
And she said, he said, my life is over. They'll never believe me. And she said, God will see that justice is done. That's what I'm praying for. This isn't just about you.
Don't worry.
Yeah, it'll happen. So, yeah, this is a mess. So jury selection is, by the way, halted for his trial because he's trying to have people killed from jail. So they have to hold up here.
Who the fuck does he think he is?
They said that the attorney general said 2 men, identified by the initials WT and SC, told authorities that Carpenter tried to arrange for the one guy's wife to contact Sandy to buy her a plane ticket so she could not be available for trial or to get her lost in the woods.
Yeah.
Along with requests that to have her leave town, he allegedly gave an inmate a handwritten letter that he hoped would reach Sandy. According to this, the letter said, "They just want to use you and hurt you. I am still waiting for you. You should be with me. Life is short." Then he asked this inmate, WT, to help kill Jonathan Purick, who is Penn's boyfriend. He has nothing to do with any of this shit. Yeah, so he just said he didn't want Purick around for trial.
Yeah, because that guy knows that I've been fucking Sandy. But, I mean, Sandy's going to be there, man.
No shit. In exchange for their help, he offered the inmates they could split the sale of a 1985 bucket truck that he had, a cherry picker. I got a cherry picker. You guys can split it.
1985. It's a 20-year-old truck. It probably doesn't run.
Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. So the judge had previously represented both of these informants, though, creating a conflict of interest, so they had to have a bunch of hearings about all that kind of crap and everything to figure it out. So, anyway, the trial comes.
Yeah.
Defense. Okay, defense attorney Mark Sisti argued that Ken couldn't have killed Penn because he was seen driving out of town on the day she was presumed murdered. Meanwhile, he was seen at a gas station. That doesn't mean that he was out of town. He was seen heading toward Massachusetts when he left a Claremont, New Hampshire gas station. They said that was the day he was supposed to have killed her. So that's crazy. If you don't know where something happened and you're trying a case in this state, you lose. You lose right out of the gate, he said. That's it.
Okay.
But the jurors got to hear all of his scripts that he wrote for Penn.
Yeah.
I know he loves you, and I did my best to remove him from your life, but now I see he truly loves you, and that's his only crime. Sandy, I'm so sorry I used you to make him hurt. It wasn't personal. I just wanted someone to love me that way. Mm-hmm. As he was married, I felt he was cheating on me, and I have been cheated on in the past. Someone had to pay for my past hurts. All this type of shit.
Yeah.
She was in love with him. Then Harv testifies about burning notebooks. She burned 3 more notebooks. Before she called the cops, she had burned notebooks. He told her to look in his toolboxes in the house to find 3 notebooks. Then she said she cleaned the house after the search and got rid of all their possessions. Mm-hmm. She admitted destroying evidence and has since received immunity in exchange for her testimony. But she said that he told her about a pile of debris near a tree stump, and 2 weeks later, she checked the area. She said she found a pile of ash with a bracelet on top, and when she dug deeper, she found bracelets and bone fragment.
Oh, my God.
She said she called her pastor, then called the police, and the pastor told her to call the police.
Yeah.
So she said that she would have found the notebooks. She found the notebooks but didn't read them. Instead, she burned them in the wood stove. Wow. 3 notebooks. She knew that he had been unfaithful, and she didn't want to read about the details, she said. She thought they were diaries. Mm-hmm. And then she said he called her and told her about some other stuff. Then, even after she had called the police in 2005, and he had the Karen, why'd you do that, Karen conversation, then in September, months later, he called her and told her about other shit he hid.
What is he doing?
Behind some insulation in the storage loft at their house. When she checked, she found a notepad inside an envelope and a small twig. A torn piece of paper from the notepad had Meyer's handwriting on the top, according to the witnesses. One line in Carpenter's handwriting at the bottom read, "I need you, I want you, I love you." So they said after bringing these items to the defense attorney, she turned the notebook and the twig over to the police again. Mm-hmm. She also said that he then, in January 2006, months after that, after she's already not done what he asked twice, to check behind the insulation again, and she found a Honda key wrapped in duct tape. The key is
a CRV.
It is fucking Penn's key. Starts her car right up.
Oh, my God.
And a dental expert testified that some of the teeth and tooth fragments found on the property were consistent with Meyer's dental records. So they said there was 2 man-made crowns found amid the burned debris that were consistent with x-rays of her teeth.
Yeah.
So Ken's brother testifies and said his brother told him that the woman he loved had recently secured a restraining order, but that he didn't blame Merritt. In fact, he blamed he blamed Penn.
Penn, yep.
Yeah. She said that he felt the restraining order wouldn't be there if it wasn't for Penn's involvement. And, he said he could have pulled out. He said at one point, Carpenter said that he went to Penn's house to try to work things out. Penn wasn't there, but when he drove off, he saw her walking alongside the road. He said he could have pulled over and hit her. And he said, I couldn't bring myself to do it, though. I couldn't do that.
I'm a nice guy.
Yeah. Ken's son enters the courtroom. By the way, Dale is his name. And he said that he didn't really grow up with his dad and didn't see him too much as an adult.
Yeah.
He said Ken promised to take him to the airport on March 3rd so Michael could visit his grandmother in Florida. And they were supposed to catch up. But a few days before that, they got missing, and Penn went missing, and he said that his dad called him and told him that he was in the hospital and that he loved me and that he was proud of me and he was depressed and he can't take you to the airport. Okay. So that's how that goes. They cross-examine the medical examiner. This is the defense cross-examining. And the cop says that, we're in a place, meaning a courtroom, where people can't assume things, correct? I guess I could go on for 6 minutes about drowning. You can't rule out a heart attack, an accident. You're unable to testify that the defendant had anything to do with the cause of death. And they said, well, distinctive jewelry identified as belonging to her, bones, gunshot wound to the back of the skull, dental and bone records saying they're Myers. I'm pretty comfortable, he said.
Looks pretty good to me.
I took all of those things together and ruled that they were the remains of Penn Meyer. And, they said, looking at the whole thing, the whole picture, that's my opinion. So once the prosecution rests, the defense says, I think we should obviously dismiss this, right?
Okay.
I said, they don't even know where she was killed. They don't even know the location. How are they supposed to do this? They just said someone's remains were found at his house. That doesn't establish jurisdiction.
Do we need a
Dismiss
murder
it.
place? Uh-huh.
And they said, what are you, fucking crazy? There were bones in his fire. No. Yeah. So they for defense here, they have one guy testified that he didn't see anything suspicious on Penn's Road that morning. Uh-huh. He had another trooper who said that there was a woman who said she saw a gray-haired man with a beard in the station wagon by the end of the driveway. This trooper says that the lady who told him that appeared to be drunk when he interviewed her. So then she can't be trusted, obviously. So both sides said that also there was a jury thing here where they sent the jury home for the day, and they asked the lawyers whether they wanted to dismiss a juror who was noticeably nodding off at several points throughout the trial.
This is so boring.
Oh, my God. A male in his late teens or 20s, they believed he understood the case and is capable of rendering a verdict. So they go in. Jury deliberates for 2 hours, but they don't. That's just filling out the paperwork. They said they went in, and they took their first vote, and they were unanimous on the first vote.
All guilty as fuck.
First-degree murder, guilty, he comes out as. Mm-hmm. Sentencing comes around. Oh, my. You, sir, may fuck off life without parole.
Holy.
Keep on keeping on, shitbag.
Forever.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Forever and ever and ever. So post-trial here, the prosecutor said they expected it the whole time. They never even considered offering a plea deal or anything. They said, we felt strongly about this and we wanted life without. That's what we wanted. And they said that was the only way justice could prevail here. And they said, well, the defense said, we're definitely going to appeal to the state Supreme Court, several legal issues and everything like that. Yeah, the defense lawyer said, I've been doing this 30 years, and I've seen them come in after an hour and a half, and I've seen them come in after 2 weeks. I don't even try to predict a jury. Mm-hmm. The jurors, here's what they said. One said, I think he incriminated himself over and over again.
He did it a lot.
Yeah. Another said, I fell in love with the person Penn was.
Oh.
Another juror said he wasn't necessarily ready to convict Ken for bones recovered on the property, but was convinced by the phone calls and notebooks that he was guilty. He said his writings were huge. That showed the deliberateness, the premeditation. It was kind of overwhelming.
Guy loves to write things down.
Yep. They also said that one said he was considering voting not guilty until the closing argument. And he said it was not a closed case. It was back and forth, real wishy-washy. Real wishy-washy. The fucking script that is on tape. You can listen to her voice on the tape, say those words, and then find in his fucking handwriting the script of that. And then she
that's the
disappears
wishy
that
part.
day.
Wait till you hear the washy part.
Let's hear the wishy-washy. You fucking crazy? He said, I was worried the prosecution wasn't doing a good enough job. It was hard to tie together until the end. And then once they put all the facts together, they did. And so one cousin, not surprised. The cousin he started drinking with back in the day. Yeah, they were best buddies. And he said, Kenny was always there for me. All I'd have to do is call and he'd come and get me. He said, we didn't have any trouble finding trouble when we were looking for it. But he said they grew apart. And he said that they grew very distant. And he said he hadn't even talked to him. He just heard one of his friends said, saw your cousin on TV when he got arrested. And he said he plans to visit his cousin in prison because he says, I think I'm pretty much it. I don't think anyone else is going to give a shit about him. And that's how it goes. So that's how it is. He says, he said, I have to sit here. His cousin said, I have to sit here and figure out why I'm here. What am I doing? It all goes back to the fact that he was a very good friend and he's my cousin and I love him and I'm the only one who could be here. Wow. So he flew in and stayed at a motel for, this is a month-long trial. This was a month-long fucking trial. And this guy even bought his cousin ties and jackets for court. He said, I didn't want him sitting there in an orange jumpsuit. I love him and I wish this never happened. But he needs someone from his family there. Sure. He's alone. He's not getting any support. Yeah. Now, 2013 is when the book Notes on a Killing came out. Yeah. That was later. Edith is Edith Nightmeyer. She is not buried anywhere because she was cremated and her ashes are unknown. I bet they were probably that lake has something to do with it. I bet she loved that place. Right. Yep. Kenneth Russell Carpenter, on the other hand, here, he is in prison forever. His max out date, this is when they have to release him, is December 17th, 2105. So, they got to let him out.
He's only got 80 years to go.
That's okay. And he's 73 now, so that should go really well.
Where is he at?
In New Hampshire, at the New Hampshire State Prison for Men.
Oh, boy.
His case,
that doesn't sound good at all.
Inmate ID 79303 if you want to keep up on him there and check out what's going on with him. But that, fuck him. That is Lempster, New Hampshire, not North Hampshire. New Hampshire. Yeah. That's a twisted fucking sick guy right there.
My God.
He had potential to kill a lot of people.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Imagine if he got away with this.
If he got away with that, there was a lot of people that were going to suffer.
And he could add that to his manipulation toolbox. Forget about it.
Yeah.
Holy shit. To think I'll force a person to say these things and then that is sick fucking shit there. If you like the show, tell the world about it. Get on whatever app you're listening on. It really does help. Help drive us up the charts with the review and say something nice about us there. Give us 5 stars. Thanks for doing that. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com is where you get everything. Merch, tickets, one live show left this year, December the 2nd, Dallas. Few tickets left. Let's get in there and let's have fun and then have some holidays and do all that shit. And we'll announce our 2024 schedule in December as well because we're finalizing it right fucking now.
Right now.
Some places we don't normally go, too. You're going to like it. So check all that out. Check out our new show, Your Stupid Opinions. Yes. Definitely. It's fucking hilarious. We talk about people's reviews, and you would not believe what they say about condoms and the Grand Canyon and everything else. It's incredible.
It's a damn good time.
English Taco Bells. It's wild. Check it all out. Also, Crime and Sports you want to listen to. You certainly want Patreon. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports. All of the bonus material. You get everything, and $5 a month or above will get you all of them. Whole back catalog, couple hundred episodes. This week, what you're going to get for Crime and Sports, which you'll definitely have access to. We're going to talk about roller derby. What the hell is it? How do you keep score? How is it like one of the most popular things in the world in the 50s, then went away, then came back? Is it wrestling? What are we doing? I don't know. Then for Small Town Murder, Love After Lockup Time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, baby. There's already a dead guy. Even before the season aired, somebody on the show already died, and they were airing in memory of beforehand. So definitely get in there. Check those out. That is Patreon.com/Crime Crime and Sports. So get in there. You'll get a shout out at the end of the show, which is coming up just in a second. Follow us on social media for sure. We are at Small Town Murder on Instagram, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, at Murder Small on Twitter. So
there you go.
Check all that out. Find us there. Keep coming back over and over again. And you know what I need to hear right now, though?
Oh, yeah, I got
the wonderful people, Jimmy. Tell me the people who are so wonderful and now have shitloads of awesome Patreon episodes to listen to. Hit me with the names of a shitload of happy people, Jimmy, right fucking now.
This week's executive producers are Jordan Brennan. Jordan will see you in Dallas. How's about that? I can't wait.
Thank
you,
Jordan.
Jordan.
Gonna be a ball.
Kimmy Wolf, Sarah Hanzelik. She got out of a speeding ticket by having us on the radio. I don't know. She didn't expound on it. I hope it was... I hope it was terrific.
You're weird and you got worse problems than I can give you.
I gotta go. Kyle Norwig, Marie with no last name, Karen McCord. Thank you guys so much for everything you do. You make this whole thing happen. You're amazing. Other producers this week are Stanley Leslie, Liz Vasquez, Peyton Meadows, Andrea Van Dyke, and her promotion. She got a big job.
Hey!
Congrats, boss lady.
Good for you.
JC Ballerina's Dead Kids. I don't know who that is. Maud Finley, Janice Hill. She got a mortgage. Congrats, Janice.
Hey, I got a mortgage.
Dixon Moorhead, the whole Colopy family. Michelle and Mike lost the matriarch of their family, Jerry Griebeneau. Griebeneau.
Sorry about that.
She wanted to wear a Shut Up and Give Me Murder sweater in the hospice. She sounds fucking rad.
Fucking amazing.
They wouldn't let her, though. Or she chose not to because she thought it would be inappropriate. I don't know. She sounded fucking amazing. I wish we would have been able to meet her.
Awesome.
I hope you guys are hanging in there. Michelle and Mike, keep going. What is this? Rui Hugh, the Great Dane. Hope you understand. I love you. Continuing other producers, Angie Bryant, Robert Harry, Aaron Yelton, Yvette, oh boy, Aya, Gaia, oh yeah. Gaia? I don't know. Zach Limbaugh, Delaney Preston, Megan with no last name, Jennifer Fields, Reed B. 1021, Carolyn So Kuhl, Heather K. Nico with no last name, Sean Moyer on Saints, O-N Saints. All right. I wonder if that, I don't know what that is. Hannah Lee, Renee F, Jason Rogaki, Rick Beatty, Flashburn 73, Grace with no last name, Morgan Marr and Bobby Lloyd, Kayla Reich, or maybe Reiki, Sheila with no last name, Natasha Campbell, Al Clark, Jimmy Weissman. That's not real. No way that's real. Christine Paulson, Nick with no last name, Alida, oh boy, Elidida Flores, Elaine Grunikwitz. Grunikiewicz.
Hard this week.
I'll bet it's Grunikiewicz. All right. Kelly Nelson, Cheryl Millard, Millard, Jessica Blumenthal, Emma Dinopolis, Jordan Weiss, Erica Stuper, Jasmine Croy, Jaden Jones, Stephanie Padula, William Green, Christina Tartar, Jordan Kraft, Sophia Castaneda, Stacy Irvin, Edwin Walker, Hannah Wilson, Jason Morris, Alexandria Cello, Brendan with no last name, Sammy Naryhood, Amy Bennett, Crystal Cowden, Kathy Armstrong, Tyler Minnix, Leanne Hutchison, KT with no last name, Karen Beauchamp, Maya with no last name, Michael Friedlein, Kelly with no last name, right. Joseph Essler, Eli Alexander, Ariane Kirkland, Mitzi C, all right, Robin Monahan, DK, probably Metcalf, Christy Carr, Dusty Muir, Katie McIntosh, Devin Salinger, Brandon Perez, Vuka Kane, Oscar P. LaRue, Allison Mitchell, Jake Singh, Jamie Kamara, Rudy Rude Boy Flores, Pamela McLean, Ashley Bell, Brandon Thornton, Andrew Neal, D. Wood, Rebecca Johnson, Cole Tenner, Melissa Drake, William with no last name, JRD, Sir Gorilla Pimp MD, Tierra Parker, Aaron Nicole, Devin Milburn, Carrie McClellan, Scott Redding, AH, and AJ. This show brought to you by the letters AH and AJ. Kelsey Steele, nice. Amanda Constantino, Mindy McGee, Emily with no last name, Sterile Processing Williamsport, Rudy Gonzalez, Mackenzie
L. Everybody.
They will make it sterile. Beth Hant, Katie Green, Kathleen June, Fat Nat. I like that. Nancy with no last name. Coombs Corner. Aaron Pine? Yeah, Peen. Shelly with no last name. Vince with no last name. Stephanie Musel. Jay Strong. Jan with no last name. Trixie with no last name. Mary Lyons. Edward Schmidt. Christina Hammer. Teresa with no last name. Seabeck 0729. Isabel Jane. Heidi Jones. Patricia Dacey. Ruben Franco. Brady with no last name. Brittany Jenkins. Amy Garcia. B. Rana. Emily West. Sin like Cynthia or Cynthiana or Cindy. I don't know. And all of our patrons, you're amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. You wonderful bastards. We appreciate the hell out of you. Mm-hmm. We really do. We can't thank you enough for what you do for us. So
unbelievable.
Thanks for hanging with us. Hope you enjoyed a crazy story. You want to follow us on social media. Real easy to do. shutupandgivememurder.com. Drop down menu. Links to all that shit. Keep coming. Keep hanging out with us. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
It takes one guy out there to say, who's that Kyle who thinks he can just get on a microphone on a podcast and start publicizing this?
From iHeart Podcasts and Tenderfoot TV comes a new true crime podcast, Crook County.
I got recruited into the mob when I was 17 years old.
Meet Kenny, an enforcer for the legendary Chicago outfit.
And that was my mission, to snuff the life out of this guy.
He lived a secret double life as a firefighter-paramedic for the Chicago Fire Department.
I had a wife and I had 2 children. Nobody knew anything.
People are dying. Is he doing this every night?
Torn between 2 worlds.
I'm covering up murders that these cops are doing.
He was a freaking crazy man.
We don't know who he is, really.
He is my father, and I had no idea about any of this until now. Welcome to Crook County. Available now. Listen for free on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.